Thanks. Hi, everybody. A beautiful night for baseball. It's time for Game 2 of this series between the RedHawks and the Salt Lake Stingers. Last night, a score fest. Both teams' pitching staffs will try to keep that number down as the RedHawks come from behind winners last night by a 10-8 final in the first of this four-game series. Tonight, left-hander Clayton Andrews to pitch for Salt Lake. He made the rounds of the Independent Northeastern League last year. This year, back in affiliated ball, Andrews, a one-time Blue Jays prospect, has a record of 1-0 and a 4.99 ERA, and he's pitched very well in his last two starts. And he'll be opposed by RedHawks right-hander John Hudgens, who had his start cut short by a power failure last time out Saturday night in Fresno. The game interrupted more than an hour by a power failure, and Hudgens did not come back after that. He's won one and lost one on the year, a 3.51 ERA. Well, the RedHawks offense is going great guns. Oklahoma has taken 4 of their last 5 and scored 8 runs or more in each of those games. Last night, 10 runs scored after 2 were out, and 4 of those driven in by Chris Richard, who you'll hear from momentarily here on the pregame show. Oklahoma just 2 games back of first in the American Southern Division. The RedHawks 21-20 on the year. Third place in the division, just a game back of Albuquerque for second and 2 back of Round Rock for first. Salt Lake 21-17 on the year. They dropped 3 in a row, and they have lost 6 consecutive road games. They are the top club in the Pacific Conference North Division, a game and a half up on Colorado Springs. We'll take a break, come back, and hear from RedHawks infielder DH Chris Richard right after this on Super Talk 930 WKY. Three. Okay, this will be for Thursday in 3, 2, 1. Hey, Josh, we might prepare to combine the next 2 breaks because it depends on when they're ready to start. If they start at 8 straight up, we might have to combine the next 2 breaks. So we might keep that in mind. Yeah, I'll let you know. Welcome back to the RedHawks pregame show. We're joined by RedHawks infielder Chris Richard, who had 4 runs batted in last night's game. And, Chris, an interesting fact that all 10 RedHawk runs last night scored after 2 were out. And you delivered a big hit because you had struck out on your first 2 at-bats, then came up in your third at-bat, were able to clear the bases with a double with 2 out and the bases loaded. And that was a nice adjustment for you after having struck out against that pitcher the first 2 times up.
Yeah, I was down 2 strikes in that too, so I was kind of looking at 3 Ks right down the barrel there. So I was just trying to make sure I was going to put the ball in play, and fortunately I got a good pitch. But for me, last night's game was kind of like a tale of 2 games for me. So glad I put it together. Glad our team got those 2 out runs in, and anytime you get a 2-out RBI or put some pressure on them with 2 outs, so the momentum really goes your way.
Going back to that Fresno series, this team again proving its capacity to put runs on the board. It seems like 8 to 10 runs, almost commonplace for this team. And I think we have to remind ourselves that's still pretty unusual in baseball to be able to produce that much.
Yeah, we've been putting a lot of runs on the board, and lot of different ways too. We got a lot of speed and a lot of power guys on this team. It looks like, and I think it's just a good mix of veterans and rookies and younger kids that chemistry-wise in the lineup, we got a good chemistry going. So hopefully we can keep it going, and we know we'll probably hit some dry spells here and there, but if we can stay consistent, we're going to have a pretty good offensive year.
Chris Richard joining us now. Your year has been unusual because you were in the lineup the first couple games right out of the box. Then you were injured, hamstring problem. You're out for 3 or 4 weeks. Now you're back in playing every day. What kind of an adjustment for you was it just a week or two ago when you started playing every day?
It's just, I think you're always making adjustments as a hitter. Sometimes you go up there and you come back off of a couple of weeks and you feel just fine, and then other times, you could be a weekend or, anytime during the season and you just feel like, you pick the bat up for the first time. So, it's just figuring out, that your strengths are going to be there, that you got to trust your hands and just keep swinging the bat. A lot of times, just because you don't feel like you have the strength in you to swing the bat, that you think you're weaker, but it's just the way your hands are feeling that day. So you just got to put that, in the back of your mind and just keep swinging and having fun.
How about the career comeback for you? You're a guy that had considerable time in the big leagues, primarily with Baltimore earlier this decade, but a variety of shoulder injuries set you back. You missed all of last year. Do you feel like you're at a stage now where you're able to slowly start building your career back to where you'll get another look one of these days soon in the big league?
I'm just taking it day by day and trying to get better as a player, and I'm just, those things are kind of out of my control. If I can go out there and just play and have fun and take that perspective, and it's interesting this time around. It's a lot more fun. I'm trying to, have a good time with the guys and go out there and play baseball and play it for the right reasons. So, I've had some setbacks with shoulder injuries that I thought I'd have to retire. So just to be on any field, playing at a competitive level is just a blessing for me.
Briefly run down the type of shoulder injuries you've had. I know at one time or another you've injured the rotator cuff and the labrum, right? Are those the big two of the shoulder injuries?
Well, yeah, rotator cuff, labrum. My capsule was torn a couple times, so that's been the big one for my stability in there. And it's just been a bunch of things going on with it. But the shoulder capsule was a big one, and it kept tearing on.
Was there any one particular traumatic incident that caused this, or was it just sort of an ongoing thing?
No, I took a ball off the wall in a play in Oakland. I spun around the field a second and just poor mechanics. You really got to concentrate on mechanics, and I opened my shoulder up too early, and the shoulder was exposed to a lot of torque on it, and just felt a little tear in there, and tried to play through it, and it just got worse and worse. So, it's just something that happens in the game, and just got to concentrate on making good mechanics.
Coming up through the Cardinals organization, you cross paths with a couple of current RedHawks, Keith McDonald, who, like yourself, came up through the Cardinals organization, and Lou Pote, who has hit a number of organizations over the years. When you think back, now that was probably 7-8 years ago, what do you recall? Do you recall much about being a teammate with a younger version, let's say, of a Keith McDonald or a Lou Pote?
Oh, yeah. Keith, I think, is an old soul. I think he's had the same personality his whole adult life. Whenever he was a quarterback, so he had to in college and stuff. So he's always been that type of guy that you could always go to, and just really a guy and a leader. So, seeing him again was just like picking it up 7 years ago. I've probably changed a little bit, but Lou was a guy that in AA that was has an interesting story where he was, I think, just working the city of Chicago, and somebody called him up and asked him if he wanted to pitch, and so he was in AA, came back, and then he made it to the big leagues a couple years later. So, and Lou's just a great competitor. So I've always, thought of him, highly, and then it was really nice to see them in spring training. And McDonald came over like the last 2 days of spring training, so it's really cool.
Well, Chris, congratulations on the year you're having so far. You're producing a lot, even with the hamstring injury earlier in the season. Best of luck in keeping it going.
All right, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
It's Red Hawk Chris Richard. We'll have more right after this here on Super Talk 930 WKY. I think we'll be able to do this normal, Josh. Just one break, come back, quick segment, another break. What's that? Oh, yeah, I think we can just do it normal. sure.
And me, I always love.
Jim Byers back with you here at the Brick. Josh Butler, our in-studio producer. Salt Lake and the RedHawks set to go here in Game 2 of this 4-game set. For Salt Lake, they're 21-17 on the year. They will be led by Chris Prieto, their leadoff hitter and center fielder. Zach Sorensen, their shortstop, will hit second. Left-handed hitting Casey Kochman, a former number 1 pick of the Angels, will hit third and be at first base. Curtis Pride, the veteran DH, will hit cleanup tonight. Jeff Mathis, one of the top catching prospects in baseball, will bat fifth. Luke Allen, the left fielder, to hit sixth. Nick Gorno, the right fielder, will bat seventh. Adam Pavkovich, the third baseman, hits eighth, in a virtually identical lineup from last night for manager Dino Ebel. And David Matranga, the second baseman, hits ninth. It's Prieto in center, Sorensen at short, and Kochman at first. Pride, the DH. Mathis catching, and Allen in left. Gorno in right, Pavkovich at third, and Matranga at second base. With veteran left-hander Clayton Andrews on the mound for the Stingers. They are the Los Angeles Angels AAA affiliate. Andrews in his first year in the organization, 1-0, his last and only win coming in his most recent start, a 4.99 ERA. John Hudgens to pitch for Oklahoma, 1-1, a 3.51 earned run average since being promoted from AA Frisco. For the RedHawks, winners of 4 of their last 5 and 21-10 on the year. The DH, Esteban Herman to lead it off. Marshall McDougal, the third baseman, will hit second. Jason Conti bats third in center field. Cleanup hitter is Jason Botts in left. 5-hole hitter is Gerald Laird, the catcher. Adrian Gonzalez hits sixth at first base. Manny Alexander, the RedHawks shortstop, bats seventh. Ian Kinsler, who belted a 2-run homer last night, hits eighth at second base. And Rashad Eldridge, the right fielder, bats ninth. It's Herman, the DH, McDougal at third, and Conti in center. Botts in left, Laird catching, and Gonzalez at first. Alexander at short, Kinsler at second, and Eldridge, the right fielder, with Hudgens on the mound. Tomorrow, a 7:05 start. Sunday, a Sunday fun day here at the Brick. 2:05 start, the final day game scheduled of the year here at SBC Bricktown Ballpark. Then Colorado Springs in for Monday and Tuesday night games, for a quick doubleheader trip to Tulsa to take on the Colorado Springs Sky Sox on Wednesday, and then it's off on the next road trip, so still plenty of time to see the RedHawks. Preferred Hospice Baseball giveaway coming up here tomorrow. And the fans here on this hot Friday night to be treated to a lot of fun tonight. The Superstars, the inflatable mascots, have already been performing. They've had the OHSO autograph night of the Mid-First Bank Dash for Cash, and also the Principal Financial Group has had its Family Fun Fest, the traveling caravan of a minor league baseball museum and other interactive displays. It ran today from 4 until right about now, so we hope the fans out on the Mickey Mantle Plaza have enjoyed that. The RedHawks in Salt Lake, game 42 of the season for Oklahoma. The RedHawks, the third-place club in the American Southern Division, just 2 back of division-leading Round Rock. The RedHawks have been a good home team this year at 11-6. Salt Lake 4 games over 500, but the Stingers have dropped 6 consecutive games on the road. And their franchise record for road losses in a row is 7, set partially here last year when the RedHawks swept them. The Stingers 21-17, a game and a half up on second place Colorado Springs. We will be back in 2 minutes with the first pitch. Listen to RedHawks baseball on Super Talk 930 WK1.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Gentlemen, please remove your caps as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem, to be performed tonight by the Crossings Community Church Men's Quartet.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red flare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
That's the Crossings Men's Quartet performing the national anthem today live from the field. A little bit of a late start here, later than normal. There was originally a pregame concert scheduled for tonight. The game time was switched months ago to 8 o'clock. The concert wound up having to be postponed, but we decided to keep the game time at 8 o'clock for consistency's sake. So we're getting set to go here. The RedHawks right-hander John Hudgens out of Stanford University set to face Salt Lake's center fielder Chris Prieto, then their shortstop Zach Sorensen, recently activated from extended spring. Casey Kochman hits third. He's their first baseman. Curtis Pride, the DH, hits cleanup. The catcher Jeff Mathis bats fifth. Luke Allen, the left fielder, hits sixth, with Nick Gorno, the right fielder, batting seventh. Adam Pavkovich hits eighth at third base, and David Matranga, the second baseman, bats ninth. The position's not exactly the same, but the players, 1 through 9 in the batting order, the same for manager Dino Ebel in his first season in the Los Angeles Angels organization, and therefore his first season as the manager of Salt Lake. Ebel, a longtime former player and manager in the Los Angeles Dodgers minor league organization. He's heading over to coach third base. His hitting coach Jim Eppard, the former major leaguer, coaches first. And John Hudgens getting set to face Chris Prieto. Yesterday, each team pounded out 13 hits. Each team hit a home run. The RedHawks prevailed 10-8 after falling behind early 5-1, taking a lead at one stage 7-5, giving that lead up 8-7, but then roaring back with three more in the last seventh inning. John Hudgens on the year 1-1, a 3.51 ERA on the season. This is start number 6 for Hudgens after being promoted from Double-A Frisco. In 25 2/3 innings with Oklahoma this year, Hudgens has allowed 30 hits and 10 runs, walked 7, struck out 22, opponents hitting .291. It is hot. There's no sun on the field as the sun sets behind the third base side grandstand, but game time temperature 91, the heat index a whopping 95 with somewhat stifling 44% humidity as we get set to go. Jason Botts is in left, Jason Conti in center, Rashad Eldridge in right. Gerald Laird behind the plate catching Hudgens. Adrian Gonzalez, the first baseman. Ian Kinsler at second. Manny Alexander at short, and Marshall McDougall at third. First pitch of the ball game is low to the left-handed hitting Chris Prieto, and it's ball one. Prieto on a 3-game hitting streak, which matches the longest currently for the Stingers, who have dipped into a 3-game losing slide. The next pitch is in there for a strike. Travis Reininger, the umpiring crew chief, is calling the balls and strikes this evening. Jason Kaiser and Ryan West on the bases. The Stingers 7-9 on the road. They've lost 6 in a row away from Franklin Covey Field, and the 1-1 pitch, a swing and a miss by Prieto. Former Padre and Dodger farmhand, Prieto in the Cardinals organization at Memphis last year. Hitting .305 on the season, 1 homer, 8 runs batted in. The 1-2 from Hudgens. There's a high pop-up to shallow right center. In comes Conti and Eldridge. Conti makes the call and the catch, and very shallow right center. No score, just underway, 1 up and 1 down, and the switch hitting Zach Sorensen to hit next. Glad you've joined us for the broadcast tonight. Jim Byers with you here on WKY and SportsJuice.com. Josh Butler, our in-studio producer. Sorensen, 3 for 12 with a run batted in. That RBI came last night since being activated from extended spring. The first pitch in there for a strike. Hudgens' last outing was Saturday night in the series opener in Fresno. He was pitching pretty well, had allowed just 1 hit in each of the first 2 innings and no runs when a power failure hit. The 0-1 pitch popped up, deep short, shallow left. Out goes Alexander. In comes Botts. Botts underneath it makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down, 2 pop-ups. And that'll bring up the Angels' #1 prospect, Casey Kochman. Power failure hit downtown Fresno in the 3rd inning the other night, and Hudgens, after an hour and 11-minute delay, did not come back. Neither did the Fresno starter after the delay. So just 2 innings in Hudgens' last start. Kochman hitting .277. Looks at a breaking ball and a good one for a called strike 1. 1 homer, 21 RBIs on the year for Kochman, who was on the then Anaheim Angels playoff roster last year, got into a couple of games in the division series. Looks at one a little low, and the count 1 ball, 1 strike. Kochman had a couple of tours last year with the Angels. Started the year at AA Arkansas, wound up at AAA Salt Lake last year, really hit well at both those levels. The 1-1 is driven in the air to center field, fairly deep, but playable. Conti back quite a few steps. Under it, makes the catch. In the inning, 3 up and 3 down. We move to the bottom of the 1st. There is no score here on Super Talk 930 WKY. The RedHawks 21-20 on the year, a game over 500. Winners of the first game of this homestand last night. Taking on Salt Lake, there's no score here in the bottom of the 1st inning. Left-hander Clayton Andrews on the hill for Salt Lake. He's 1-0. Beat Omaha in his last start on Friday the 13th of May, allowing 2 runs on 5 hits and 5 1/3 innings. On the year, he's 1-0, 4.99 ERA. This is his 8th appearance and 6th start. In 30 2/3 innings, Andrews has allowed 32 hits and 17 runs. Walked 9, struck out 14, opponents hitting .276. He's got Luke Allen in left, Chris Prieto in center, Nick Gorno in right, Jeff Mathis behind the plate catching Andrews. The Stingers' other catcher is Oklahoma State product Ryan Buddy out of Midwest City High School. Casey Kochman at first, David Matranga at second, Zach Sorensen at short, Adam Pavkovich at third. The leadoff hitter is Esteban Herman, and the first pitch to the RedHawks right-handed hitter is low for ball 1. Herman riding a 7-game hitting streak. He's the DH tonight. He's a .346 hitter on the year. The 1-0 pitch is bounced toward third off the glove of Pavkovich. It's a base hit. An infield hit on a 1-0 pitch, slapped to the left of the third baseman Pavkovich, who dived but could not get a full grasp of it. And Herman, who entered play today, second in the league in base hits, tied for second behind Matt Padgett of Albuquerque. It's base hit number 54 of the year. The RedHawks with 2 hitters in the top 10 in the league in hitting. Herman, who was the 8th best hitter in the league, and Manny Alexander, who was the 7th best batting average in the league. Here's Marshall McDougal as Herman extends his hitting streak to 8 games. McDougal on a 9-gamer. First pitch, low, ball 1, just activated from the DL yesterday. That's Herman the DH, McDougal at third, and Jason Conti hitting third and center field. Jason Botts, the left fielder, hits cleanup. 5-hole hitter is Gerald Laird, the catcher. Adrian Gonzalez hits 6th at first base. Manny Alexander bats 7th at short. Andrews delivers to McDougal, and he hits this one well, high and deep to center field. Prieto with the warning track. He's got a play on it, and he makes the catch. A foot onto the track. Hustling back to first is Herman, as he had gotten a long way around second base and hit second base at least. So McDougal, a .326 hitter on the year with good power. Hit that one well. If the wind weren't blowing in slightly, that might have gotten out of here. No score. Bottom of the first inning. The Stingers went out in order in the top of the first. 8-hole hitter is Ian Kinsler, the second baseman, and Rashad Eldridge, the right fielder, bats 9th. 1 out, and Jason Conti on a 13-game hitting streak for the league's best offense. Conti hitting .265 with 9 homers and the team leading 28 runs batted in. Tied with Ian Kinsler for the most RBIs on the team. A flip throw over to first. Herman is back. Herman leads the team with 10 stolen bases, but he has not swiped a base since April 29th. He's gone 18 games without a steal. Andrews throws over again. Will Smith, an outfielder on the disabled list, is coaching at first. The skipper, Bobby Jones, coaching at third. Salt Lake 21-17 on the year. The RedHawks 21-20. The Stingers have lost a number of home dates to bad weather. Pitch to Conti is up and in for ball 1. Conti and Jason Botts share the team lead with 9 homers. Kinsler and Conti share the team lead with 28 RBIs. The RedHawks lead the league in base hits. They're second in team batting at .294. The 64 homers they lead the league in that department. Andrews' 1-0 pitch is low, and the count 2 balls and no strikes. Andrews, a one-time third-round pick of the Blue Jays in '96, worked his way up through the Blue Jays system to appear in 8 games in the big leagues for Toronto in 2000. Herman goes. The 2-0 pitch is a strike. Mathis's throw is not in time, and for the first time this month, Esteban Herman has stolen a base. That's his 11th steal. He remains among the league leaders in stolen bases. Count 2 balls and a strike to Conti. Herman with a good jump. Not much Mathis, who is a fine catcher, could do on that one. Conti shares the RedHawks' longest hitting streak of the year at 13 games with Manny Alexander and Esteban Herman. The 2-1 pitch in there for a called strike 2, and it's 2-2. Good Friday crowd on hand. With the later start, temperatures, while they are still hot, at least all the fans in shade. There is some high cloud cover overhead, and the sun setting behind the third base side stands, so taking a little of the glare off. Andrews, the lefty, the 2-2 pitch to Conti. Breaking ball in the dirt. Gets away from Mathis. There goes Herman. He's safe at third after a wild pitch. And the count full to Conti. Salt Lake's team ERA is 4.93. That's 11th in the league. The RedHawks team ERA is 10th at 4.85. Salt Lake has been a streaky team, to say the least. Our current 3-game losing streak follows a 5-game winning streak, which followed a 6-game losing streak. The infield comes in now for the 3-2 pitch. 1 out and no score. Bottom of the first inning. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Conti. On its way, breaking ball, nubbed on the ground toward the second baseman, Matranga. He flips to the first baseman, Kochman, for the out, and they hold the runner at third. Ball was hit so softly but it was right at Matranga, the second baseman, that Herman could not risk coming in. 2 outs, runner at third. The infield will go back to regular depth as Jason Box comes to the plate. Switch hitter will bat from the right side here, a .299 hitter on the year. 9 homers and 26 runs batted in. Box on a 4-game hitting streak at this point. Andrews delivers. There's a bouncer towards short. Backing up on it is Sorensen. He throws from the outfield grass, not in time, and a run scores. And the RedHawks take a 1-0 lead. On a deep bouncing ball to short, and Sorensen didn't have much choice but to back up on it. It's an infield hit for Bops, his 27th run batted in, and the RedHawks tally the first run. That'll bring up Gerald Blair. So Bops, first ball swinging with an infield hit. He has good speed, and when Sorensen backed up to the edge of the outfield grass, there was no way he was going to be able to deliver that throw over there in time. So Gerald Laird comes up, hitting at a .327 mark. Throw over to first base, and Bops is back. So the RedHawks, who have slugged their way to 21 wins this year, and have scored 8 runs or more in each of their last 5 games and lead the league in runs produced, score a first-inning run on 2 infield hits, a stolen base, and a wild pitch. First delivery to Laird is low for ball 1, and it's 1-0 Oklahoma. Laird with 6 homers, 19 runs batted in. Andrews played for the Independent League. The next pitch misses low and the count 2-0. Played in the Independent Northeast League last year, and he wasn't even on a team that was based somewhere. He was on a traveling squad that did not have a permanent home. Kind of like an exaggerated case of the Montreal Expos, except even worse. The 2-0 in there for a strike call, but it's 2-1. Andrews last year in affiliated ball was 0-3, Class A Potomac and AA Chattanooga in the Reds system. Pitched in AA Chattanooga in 0-2. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Off-speed pitch swung on a miss in the count 2-2. Spent 3 whole years in the Mets system, in the Reds system, I should say, after coming up through the Blue Jays organization and pitching in AAA some in 99 and quite a bit in 2000. Went 1-2 with the Blue Jays in 8 games in 2000 and a 10.02 ERA. 2-2 to Laird is high in the count 3-2. Andrews' last 2 starts have been good. A win and a no decision. In 13 1/3 innings in his last 2 starts, he has allowed just 7 hits and 2 runs. None in his 8-inning start 2 starts ago. Payoff pitch was hit foul up the third base line off the end of the dugout railing. 325 down the lines here at the Brick. 415 to deep left center. 377 to deep right center to the power outlet. 400 straight away. RedHawks bullpen out beyond the left center field fence. The Stingers bullpen out behind right center. Pops at first. He takes off. The 3-2 pitch is hit on the ground to third. Pavkovich has it. Makes the throw across in time. In the inning, a run on 2 hits, 1 man left, and the RedHawks up 1-0 after 1 on Super Talk 930 WKY. 6 runs batted in. Bot's on a 4-game hitting streak at this point. Andrews delivers. There's a bouncer toward 4-game hitting streak at this point. Andrews delivers. There's a bouncer towards short. Backing up on it is welcome back to SBC Bricktown Ballpark as we move on to the top of the second inning. The RedHawks leading Salt Lake by a score of 1-0. And as we frequently have here during homestands at the Brick, about once a homestand, we're joined by a local restaurateur to talk about what's going on in Bricktown. And today we have Charles Stout from the Bricktown Brewery, one of the, as John Brooks and I were calling it during the hockey season, one of the anchor restaurants in Bricktown. And we'll welcome in Charles here in a moment after Curtis Pride leads off the top of the second inning against right-hander John Hudgens. Pride hitting .328 on the year with 6 home runs. RedHawks scratching across a run on a 2-out infield hit from Botts in the first inning, and 2-out hits were big yesterday. The RedHawks scored all 10 of their runs after 2 were out. First pitch low and away, ball 1. And Charles, your young son Preston here as well. Welcome up here to the booth.
Well, thanks for having me. It's a lot of fun to be a part of the RedHawks down here and part of Bricktown and a great sport of baseball.
The 1-0 pitch low and inside, and it's 2-0. Well, we appreciate that. The brewery is a place that's been around for a long time. It seems to be going very strongly these days.
We are experiencing an outstanding year this year, and it always seems to. We keep saying wait till next year, and this looks like a good year. The weather's been great so far this year, and a lot of new attractions down to Bricktown, a lot of great new places and things to do, and we're fortunate to be a part of it and to have been here for quite a long time.
Count now 2-1 to Pride as he swung through a 2-0 pitch from John Hudgens. Here's the 2-1. And that just misses, maybe a little low, and the count 3-1. Pride, Mathis, and Allen, the 4, 5, and 6-hole hitters, due up here in the second inning. A run on 2 hits for the RedHawks. Hudgens retired the side in order in the first inning. And Hudgens delivers the 3-1 pitch, and Pride chops one toward Kinsler, the second baseman. He runs up on it, throws in time. Nice backhand play as he was up on a dead run and threw to first for the out, and that'll bring up Jeff Mathis. So I know a few years ago you went to the Jake's Rib Barbecue, right? Has that been a nice addition for you?
Yeah, you know, Jake's in Chick Shay's is a legend in Oklahoma. If you know barbecue in Oklahoma, yeah. Jake's been around for a long time, and Jim Cowan, the owner, and the guys out there in Chick Shay are related, and Jim decided to do the same kind of food they do. We got the same smokers they have. We do the same meat, same sauce, same true Oklahoma-style barbecue.
Charles Stout of the Bricktown Brewery is joining us. Jeff Mathis, right-handed hitting catcher, takes one low and away for ball 1. I know I go there frequently for lunch in the off-season as the 1-0 pitch is ripped on. Diving stop by McDougal. He throws from his knees in time. Wow. Gosh, says grab life by the horns, and McDougal did it that time from a prone position as he took a base hit away from Mathis. How about that play?
Great play. That's some good baseball. My son and I come out here as much as we can, and that's just the reason right there. These guys are good ball players here.
They can do some phenomenal things.
That right there, if you got a chance to see, if you're watching and listening to us here in the stadium, that was a great play.
You know, you're in a situation where you're almost marking your score sheet for a base hit on a play like that. Here's Luke Allen. First pitch low and inside for ball 1. Allen, a .304 hitter. 5 homers, 24 runs batted in. So Hudgens gets a nice play from Kinsler to begin the inning, and a splendid play from McDougal to take a hit away from Mathis. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and that's high and outside, and the count 2-0. I know I frequently go to your place for lunch in the off-season, and I love the array of sandwiches and other things you can get for lunch, but tell us a little bit about what fans can As here's the 2-0 pitch outside. Can look for if they come down here for dinner prior to a game.
We do a lot of things. You know, of course, we hang our hat on our smoked meats. We smoke it all. We don't bring in anything pre-smoked. We take it and we season it and we smoke it up. We also have some great brewery favorites. We have a chicken pot pie that's outstanding, a Casey's strip that's very popular, chicken fried steak that we put up against anybody's chicken fried steak. It's one of our biggest sellers. So there's a wide variety of things. We always run specials on the weekends, and we always see a lot of good RedHawk hats before and after the game, enjoying not only good food, but of course we make some really pretty good beer down there too.
Luke Allen jumped all over a 3-0 pitch, hit the heck out of it to left field, but Jason Botts went back to the warning track, and all 6'5" of them reached up and made a very nice catch. So Hudgens gets 3 excellent defensive plays, and the side retired in order. Charles, stay with us. We'll talk some more Bricktown Brewery and baseball when we come back. 1-0 Oklahoma in the middle of the second inning on Super Talk 930 WKY. Lots on a 4-game hitting streak at this point. Andrews delivers. There's a bouncer towards short. Backing up on it is Sorensen. He throws from the outfield grass, not in time, and a run scored. And the RedHawks take a Jim Byers and Charles Stout of the Bricktown Brewery joining us. Bottom of the second inning. Adrian Gonzalez leads it off and takes one low for ball 1. Oklahoma up 1-0. Clayton Andrews delivers a curveball high in the count 2-0. Gonzalez, Alexander, and Kinsler coming up. Adrian on a 7-game hitting streak. 262 average on the year with 6 home runs. Andrews ready, and here's the pitch. There's a ground ball to the first baseman. Up with it is Kochman. He takes it to the bag, and there's one down. And that'll bring up Manny Alexander, the 7th leading hitter in the league. Now, you brought in, as always, which we appreciate, a variety of, looks like we got some sausage up here and a rib, and describe some of the meats you brought up to us today. Are these kind of your signature things? Or?
Yeah, what we really hang our hat on is the ribs, and we take the spare rib part of the rib and smoke it whole. Don't add any sauce to it because it just gets this great Oklahoma oak flavor in that wood. We also smoke with the same wood the sausage that you have there and the beef. And those are 3 of our biggest sellers. And when somebody wants us to show off a little bit, we'll bring out 3 of those things and a little bit of our barbecue sauce, secret recipe barbecue sauce there on top of it. And got some pinto beans here, and hopefully you guys enjoy. I understand that you appreciate a little change up from what the people here at the RedHawks give you every once in a while.
We appreciate everything we get, but if we can get food from a place like the Bricktown Brewery, we certainly appreciate that. And I noticed that you're taking care of everybody in the press box, which is great as well. Manny Alexander had a 2-1 count. You just heard the smack of the bat. That was a foul ball back to the screen. So 2-2 to the RedHawks veteran shortstop, 347 hitter. 5 homers, 20 runs batted in. I wouldn't want to hog all the smoked meat in here. We've got to take care of our friends next door. The 2-2 is driven foul on the first base side, off the top of the roof and then back down below. 1 out, nobody on. It's a 1-0 RedHawk lead here in the second. Now, you still have a whole variety of handcrafted beers over there as well?
Yeah, Craig Massey, our brewer, his goal is to keep 6 of his handcrafted beers on at all times. And right now we do have 6 on, and Red Brick, Copperhead, the Bison. He's got his Porter on right now. The Rock Island Rail, an old favorite. It's been around since day one. But we're always obviously the food is important, but what we're known for is handcrafted beers. We've won awards in the region. Consider ourselves a very competent brewery, able to make great handcrafted beers for Oklahoma.
There's a line drive base hit to left field. Alexander around first, heading to second. Here's the throw from Allen, and he's out. And Alexander gets extremely upset at the call at Ryan West. Allen went over to get it. It'll be scored as a base hit, and out at second, 7-4. Bobby Jones is going to get all over Ryan West as well, as Jones is very vehement, and he doesn't usually get that vehement. Jones saying he tagged him way up on the arm. The ball was crushed down the line and right, and Allen made a great play to get over there, slid and almost juggled the ball, but then made a great throw to second. But the RedHawks saying the tag came too high up the arm. Now, Ryan West says, now that's enough, Bobby. And Bobby Jones walks back to the coaching box. He is really hot. We haven't seen Bobby that hot since Albuquerque was throwing at Adrian Gonzalez earlier in the year. Ian Kinsler is up, 2 out, nobody on, and the pitch low and outside for ball 1. Ian hit a 2-run homer last night in that comebacking 7th inning. Next pitch low, and the count 2-0. And I know you've got the big area upstairs where the Blazers hosted their talk show the last part of last year, and do you do good business up there too?
Yeah, that's a fun kind of diversion place, we call it up there. There's pool tables and some really neat games to play. You know, they're video games, but you see more adults playing than we see the kids. They're the golf games and some of the high-tech games that are up there. But the billiards are a nice attraction for people to come up and relax, cool off, play some pool, have a good handcrafted beer, and just, have fun.
Kinsler just drew a 4-pitch walk from Clayton Andrews. Andrews and the Salt Lake Stingers facing the RedHawks here with 2 outs in the last of the second, and the RedHawks up by a run, 1-0, and Rashad Eldridge coming up. Eldridge hitting .260, couple of homers, 7 runs batted in from the Bricktown Brewery in the heart of Bricktown on Sheridan Avenue. Charles Stout joining us here. Eldridge comes to the plate, switch hitter batting from the right side. Throw over to first base, and back is Kochman. Now, we didn't prepare this in advance, so I don't mean to catch you unaware, but will the Blazers radio show be back there this year?
John and I have talked. I know John's kind of stepping back a little bit, but we have every intention of having the...
Now they get Kinsler picked off. They throw behind him to the first baseman, Kochman, over to the shortstop, Sorensen. 1-3-6, and the inning is over. Okay, go ahead and finish up what you were going to say.
Well, we... now I can't remember. That was an exciting play.
You and John Brooks talking about, Brooksy is retiring from the play-by-play. I'll be taking over, but he'll still be involved as strictly.
Yeah, Jim, and you're going to be there, I understand.
Yeah, I'll be kind of co-hosting.
Sure, and we had such a great, the Blazers fans, the fans that support Oklahoma City sports are awesome. I mean, I love coming to games. You see a lot of the same people, and the support that the Blazers and the RedHawks have is outstanding, and we have every intention. John and I talked about doing it, and we intend to have that show back again because we felt like the Blazer fans really appreciated us, and we certainly appreciated those Blazer fans, as we do the RedHawks fans. Because, like I said, it is not odd before or after games to see several RedHawk hats in our place.
Well, that's great. Well, Charles, thanks so much for the visit. We always enjoy being at the Bricktown Brewery, and thanks so much for bringing everything up here tonight.
Anytime, Jim.
The RedHawks lead at 1-0. Let's take a quick break. Come back with the third inning after this on Super Talk 930 WK1. Hey, Josh, could we come back after this spot and make up whatever is next? Okay, thanks. Oh, okay, great. Top of the third inning, the RedHawks up 1-0. Nick Gorno crushed the first pitch foul from John Hudgens. We're underway here in the top of the third. The next pitch is low, and the count 1-1. Bottom third of the order coming up here against Hudgens, who has set down the first 6 that he has faced. Gorno, Pavkovich, and Matranga. A run on 3 hits for the RedHawks. Zeros on the board for the Salt Lake Stingers. The 1-1 low and away. 2-1 to Gorno. A guy that has put up some good offensive numbers throughout the course of his career as he works his way up the minor league ladder. Last year hit .281 with 21 homers in Arkansas, and he takes a strike in the count 2-2. Year before, Gorno split the year between Class A Rancho Cucamonga and Arkansas and hit .321 in Rancho and .345 in Double A. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Inside. And the count 3-2. Gorno hitting .316, 5 homers, 22 runs batted in on the year. Jim Byers with you. We thank Charles Stout from the Bricktown Brewery in Oklahoma City for joining us in the second inning. Hudgens delivers a 3-2 pitch, foul to the screen. Hudgens got 3 excellent defensive plays in that second inning. They put it in play reasonably hard against him, very hard by the last 2 hitters, but at people, and they made the plays. That's all part of the deal. You win together and lose together, and here's a 3-2. Popped up out of play. It's not like Hudgens was making bad pitches, but they hit the ball hard, and he got some help from his defense, which is the way it should be. The pitcher can't be out there doing it all by himself. Gorno, out of the University of Massachusetts. Good-sized guy, 6'3" and 220. Guy that has a bit of a long swing that they tried to shorten over the years. 3-2, got him swinging. Good breaking pitch away. First strikeout for Hudgens, and that'll bring up Adam Pavkovich. RedHawks baseball brought to you in part by Westlake Ace Hardware, your complete lawn and garden source, now with 10 convenient locations, including their 2 newest, 200 North Mustang Road in Mustang and 23rd and Penn in the heart of Oklahoma City. Pavkovich went 2 for 2 with a walk last night. He had been 2 for 13. First pitch in there for a strike, so he turned around his fortunes against Jason Standridge, the RedHawks starter last night. Pavkovich hitting .284. Spent last year at Class A Rancho Cucamonga, which is outside the L.A. area, California League. The 0-1, he shows bunt, takes it inside, and the count 1-1. Pavkovich, their third baseman, another good-sized guy, just like the previous hitter, Gorno. Pavkovich, 6'2", 185. And with those red socks hiked up high over the calf, it makes him look even taller. 1-1 for Hudgens in there for a strike. It's 1-2. We'll take a look at some scores from around the PCL here as time allows. 1-2. Smash up the middle for a base hit. So that's the first base runner against Hudgens, a line drive single up the middle. And 9-hole hitter David Matranga is coming up next. Hudgens has been statistically a better pitcher on the road. If you look at numbers, in 3 starts on the road, he has no record but a 2.84 ERA. At home, he's 1-1 with a 4.15, for whatever that means. It's not all that significant with not that many games pitched yet. Matranga shows bunt, takes first pitch strike. RedHawks division rivals, the closest rivals at least, Round Rock and Albuquerque, are out west. Albuquerque last night beat Las Vegas in 11 innings, 14-11. Just another fun day at the ballpark in Vegas. The 0-1 pitch is chopped over McDougal's head into left field for a base hit. Pavkovich to second. That's first and second with 1 out on the base hit by Matranga, who came in a .246 hitter on the year. RedHawks lead it by a score of 1-0. Having a little difficulty pulling up the PCL scores, so we'll see if we can find any Major League scores for you. Boston leading Atlanta in Fenway 4-1. Atlanta batting in the top of the ninth as interleague play gets underway. The pitch to Chris Prieto in there for a called strike one. St. Louis ahead of the Royals 6-3 in the fifth inning in Kansas City. Earlier today, the White Sox beat the Cubs. Runners at first and second. The pitch to Prieto is ripped foul down the right field line. Fan walking down the aisle had no idea the ball was coming. Almost got hit by it. Chris Prieto popped up to the center fielder Conti in the first inning. He's 5 for his last 10, though. He's been on a tear, hitting at a .302 clip. Batting with Pavkovich at second and Matranga at first. Arizona leads Detroit 4-2, heading to the ninth. Cincinnati ahead of Cleveland 2-1 in the eighth. Pitch to Prieto, just a little low on the count 1-2. Philadelphia leads Baltimore in the sixth inning, 7-2 in favor of the Phils. Yankees lead the Mets 3-1 in the seventh. Marlins over Tampa Bay 7-4 in the sixth. Rangers lead Houston 4-1 in the fifth. Brandon Backey and Kenny Rogers, the pitching matchup in that one. Minnesota leads Milwaukee 6-1 in the fifth. Hudgens 1-2 pitch is low on the count 2-2. San Diego at Seattle, Oakland at San Francisco, Angels at the Dodgers later. Toronto beat Washington by a final of 6-1, and the White Sox beat the Cubs at Wrigley 5-1. And there's one game in the National League. Pittsburgh leads Colorado 9-3 in the eighth. 2-2 the count to Prieto, the pitch. Ground ball could be 2 to short. Alexander, underhand flip to Kinsler, back to first, double play. 6-4-3. The inning is over. No runs on 2 hits, 1 man left. Let's go to the bottom of the third. 1-0 Oklahoma. And Super Talk 930 WKY. Jim Byers back live here at SPC, Bricktown Ballpark in Oklahoma City. The RedHawks lead it by a score of 1-0 as we go to the last of the third inning. Rashad Eldridge leads it off. He was at bat when Ian Kinsler was essentially picked off to end the second inning. It went as a caught stealing because Ian took off for second when a pitcher threw behind him to first base. First pitch to Eldridge is high, ball 1. From left-hander Clayton Andrews. So the 9-1 and 2-hole hitters coming up. The 1-0 pitch is ripped down the left field line for a base hit. That'll be a 2-base hit at least. Over it again, it is Allen. Eldridge on his way to second. Allen's throw is high. Eldridge is safe. Allen threw out a Red Hawk in a controversial play. Manny Alexander trying to stretch a single into a double in the previous inning. But threw a strong rebuke from Red Hawks manager Bobby Jones. But Eldridge easily beat that throw. It's a leadoff double here in the third. Rashad in last night's game went 1 for 3 with a double. He's now doubled in consecutive games. RedHawks had 5 doubles yesterday. Here's Esteban Herman, who scored the game's only run, leading off with an infield hit earlier. First pitch is high for ball 1. Around the PCL, Colorado Springs leads the New Orleans Zephyrs 3-1 in New Orleans in the 6th. Fresno, which was shut out last night, leads the Iowa Cubs 5-3 in the 5th. Former Ranger Darren Oliver pitching in that one for Iowa. Here's the 1-0. Herman takes a strike, and it's 1-1. Last night, Nashville and Tacoma played a 14-inning game with 2 rain delays. Nashville winning 9-5. The start delayed tonight by rain in Tacoma. Round Rock at Tucson, Albuquerque, and Las Vegas later, as is Memphis at Portland. Herman shows bunt, takes breaking ball high in the count 2-1. Third baseman Pavkovich up at the edge of the grass with the bunt threat with Herman, who's hitting .351. 2 homers, 25 runs batted in. Here's the pitch. 2-1 in there for a strike on the inner part of the plate. And the count 2-2. Chris Snelling of Tacoma opened play today, hitting .398 to lead the league in hitting. Then Todd Self, Danny Ardoin, the former Red Hawk, now with Colorado Springs, 3rd. Tucson's Connor Jackson, 4th. Matt Padgett of Albuquerque, 5th. Ryan Sheely of Colorado Springs, 6th. Then Alexander of the Red Hawks, and then Herman, the guy at the plate. The 2-2 pitch breaks just inside in the count 3-2. 1 run on 4 hits for the Red Hawks, no runs on 2 hits for the Stingers, who had a mild rally in that top of the 3rd inning, quashed by the double play ball. Time called, and Andrews walks to the back of the mound. So Andrews, after taking a moment, facing with nobody out, a 3-2 pitch here to Herman. Marshall McDougall is on deck. Keith McDonald, Cody Ransom, Chris Richards sitting this one out. Will Smith on the DL with knee and ankle injuries for the RedHawks. Here is the 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball lifted down the line and right. Long run for Gorno, and that's going to drop foul out of play and into the stands. Herman got his 54th hit of the year in the 1st inning. Pending what happens tonight, that moves him into a tie for the league lead in hits. He is tied for 2nd in the league with 4 triples. And he has stolen 11 bases, which, pending what happens tonight, moves him into a tie for 2nd in that department. First stolen base since April 29th. He had gone 18 games without a steal. 3-2 pitch. Fastball low and away, ball 4. Second walk issued by Clayton Andrews. Runners at 1st and 2nd, nobody out, and Marshall McDougall, who hit it a ton but flied out to center in his first at-bat. Coming up. The Oklahoma City metro area is more exciting than ever, and No magazine brings you the people, places, entertainment, and lifestyles better than Madison Avenue Publishing. Check out the excitement in your area in one of Madison Avenue's great line of magazines like Edmond Monthly, Downtown Monthly, Historic Living, Quail Creek News, and Norman Living at your neighborhood 7-Eleven store or at Barnes & Noble Booksellers. First pitch low, the throw not in time. They threw down to first base to try to get Herman, and he was able to dive back safely. Mathis, with a right-handed hitter up, had an open lane to throw to first. McDougall hitting .322. Extended his hitting streak to 9 games last night in his first game back from the DL since April 29th. He lifts a high fly ball to right center. Playable for Nick Gorno, the right fielder. He makes the catch. Tagging is Eldridge, heading toward 3rd, and he's got it. 1st and 3rd, 1 out. On a long fly out to right. Advancing Eldridge from 2nd to 3rd. Runners at the corners, and that'll bring up Jason Contow. Contow grounded out with the infield drawn in the 1st, and it did not bring Eldridge in, or rather Herman in from 3rd base. The next hitter, Botts, brought the run in. The game's only run so far is 1-0 RedHawks. as Botts had an infield RBI single. Texas leads Houston now in the last of the 6th inning in Arlington, 4-2. So Kenny Rogers' lengthy 30-plus inning scoreless streak snapped earlier tonight. The first one to Conti in there for a strike. Few transactions today. The Reds designated second baseman D'Angelo Jimenez for assignment. They called up an infielder Luis Lopez from Louisville. The A's placed Octavio Dotel on the DL. They called up former Red Hawk Jermaine Clark from Sacramento. The Cubs activated right-handed pitcher Joe Borowski from the DL. They sent Michael Fontenot to AAA Iowa. Throw over to first, Herman back. Former Red Hawk Matt Miller, the right-handed relief pitcher, called up today to Cleveland. They optioned out right-handed pitcher Jason Davis to AAA Buffalo. Pitch, low, and the count 1-1. Yesterday, former Sooner Jason Bartlett sent down by the Twins to AAA Rochester. And Milwaukee yesterday traded 42-year-old catcher Pat Borders. He had been with the Nashville team in this league. They traded him back to Seattle, where I think he spent the last 4 or 5 years of his career. Conti hitting .263. The 1-1 pitch is low. And the count 2-1. Chance for the RedHawks to build here. 1 out, runners at first and third. Conti with 9 homers, 28 runs batted in. The RedHawks have scored 258 runs on the year. And a quick grab of the calculator will determine the average runs per game for the RedHawks. The 1-2 pitch is tipped foul up the first baseline. Oklahoma averaging 6.29 runs per game. And even when they were being swept in Sacramento, they produced decent run totals in 2 of those games, 6 runs in one, 5 in another. It was pitching problems that hurt the RedHawks in Sacramento, including the inability to hold a lead in that first game. 2-2 pitch, no, a throw over to first. Herman at first, Eldridge at third. Herman back safely at first. Bottom of the 3rd inning here at SBC, Bricktown Ballpark. 1-0 Oklahoma. Conti, the former Brewer and Tampa Bay Devil Ray, originally in the Arizona Diamondbacks organization, digs in. Herman goes. 2-2 pitch, a swing and a miss. Herman steals second without issue. So Herman, who went 18 games without a steal, steals on the swinging strike 3 to Jason Conti, who swung at a pitch in the dirt to protect his runner. So that's the first strikeout for Clayton Andrews tonight, and Jason Botts coming up. 2 outs, and runners at second or third. Botts chopped an infield hit to short that Sorensen backed up on in the first inning and did not have time to throw him out. Botts with good speed, so Botts bumps that average over the 300 mark to 303 with 9 homers and 27 runs batted in. The pitch, low, ball 1. Each of the last 11 runs scored in this series by the RedHawks have come after 2 were out. See if Botts can make it 12 right here. A base hit would bring in 2 more than likely. Andrews ready. The 1-0 pitch is bounced towards short. Sorensen has it again at the edge of the grass. Throws to first in time. An in-between hop throw shorted to first base, but Kochman dug it out. No runs in the inning despite a leadoff double. 2 men left, and after 3, it remains a 1-0 RedHawk lead on Super Talk 930 WKY. On we go to the fourth inning. The inflatable mascots, the Superstars, entertaining fans here at the Brick, doing the routine where the guy in the Salt Lake jersey trades dance moves with the inflatable Shark McGuire character. Shark doing some things that no human being can do. Although the guy in the Stingers uniform tries to match him. Now he does a deal where he vibrates his inflatable costume. Finally, the guy in the Stingers uniform does a complete flip, and then the Shark McGuire character knocks him down. That's a time-tested, good routine. Superstars entertaining the fans tonight. Zach Sorensen to lead off the top of the fourth. 1 run, 4 hits for the RedHawks. No runs, 2 hits for Salt Lake. Sorensen, Kochman, and Pride, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up. And time called before the first pitch, and Hudgens is going to go back and lick one of his fingers. You know, you can't go to your mouth on the mound unless it's very cold and you're given permission by the umpires. So you can walk off the mound and do it. First pitch in there for a strike. Sorensen popped up to shallow left in his first at bat, so he's 3 for 13 since being promoted from extended spring. Hudgens, the Stanford right-hander, delivers in there for a strike. Best player in the 2003 College World Series as a Cardinal, and Hudgens born right here in Oklahoma City. His mother's family is from here. He and both his parents, shouldn't say he, but both his parents attended Oral Roberts. The 0-2 pitch got him swinging. Breaking ball down. Second strikeout for Hudgens, who allowed a couple of one-out singles in the third but got a double play ball. So he's faced over only 1 over the minimum so far. Casey Kochman to hit next. Kochman, their number 1 prospect. His father is the Angels rookie-level manager in Orem, Utah. Here's the pitch to Kochman. There's a bouncer to the first baseman, Gonzalez. Long flip to Hudgens covering. Gonzalez is great at that, and there's an out. Gonzalez on the move, able to get it. The ground ball well off first, flip to Hudgens. And before the Curtis Pride at bat, let's pause a few seconds for station identification as you listen to Oklahoma RedHawks baseball. Here's the veteran lefty hitter Curtis Pride, who grounded out in his first at bat. Pride has had one of the better years of anybody in the league this season. First pitch, low ball 1. Got off to a great start. Currently hitting .328, or at least was at the start of the game, .325 now. 6 homers, 31 runs batted in. That puts you just outside the top 5 in the league in runs batted in. The 1-0 is chopped toward first. Similar looking play to the last one. Gonzalez, a quicker flip to Hudgens. They get him. Pride, for an older guy, still runs very well, and that slow chopper required a quick underhand from Gonzalez. 3 up, 3 down, 6 pitches, and the top of the fourth is in the books. The score remains 1-0 Oklahoma on Super Talk 930 WKY. How's it going back there, Josh? All right? Good. Yeah, but I don't think it's as bad as last night. I was really hot last night, even though I think it's warmer tonight. Jim Byers back live at SBC, Bricktown Ballpark. It's the fourth inning. The RedHawks up 1-0, and Gerald Laird set to lead it off against left-hander Clayton Andrews. Still listed at 82 degrees on the Weather Channel. The game time temperature was 91 with a heat index of 95 with high humidity, but a good crowd, probably in the 9,000 range out here tonight. As we get set for the bottom of the fourth inning, Laird grounded out to end the first inning. So batting for the second time today, then Adrian Gonzalez and Manny Alexander. Well-played game so far. Andrews has been in some trouble each inning. RedHawks starter John Hudgens has not. He's pitched very well. Here's the first pitch. And Laird bunts up the third base line. Pretty good bunt. Pavkovich fields it, throws to first in time. Good play by Adam Pavkovich. The bunt was a tad hard. If it just took a few more rolls before it gets to Pavkovich, I think Laird beats it out. Got him by about a step at first base. One out on one pitch, and Gonzalez coming up. Each Friday night home game here at the Brick, fireworks following festivities. Compliments of McDonald's. Fans will hang in here for that tonight. Pitch to Gonzalez. Breaking ball for a called strike one. Adrian bounced out to the first baseman Kochman back in the second inning. This is the first and only series between these teams this year. The RedHawks will not go to Salt Lake. The 0-1. Breaking ball inside. The count 1-1. 7:05 game tomorrow. 2:05 starts Sunday, and then Colorado Springs in for 2. Monday and Tuesday. 1-1 pitch is ripped into the center field for a base hit toward right center. Gonzalez around first, making a wide turn and hanging in there with a long single. Was able to drive it just out of the reach of the second baseman Matranga as it was hit more or less up the middle. Then it toward right center. And Gonzalez with his first hit of the game, and now an 8-game hitting streak. The 7-hole hitter Manny Alexander, who ripped a base hit in the second inning, was thrown out in a controversial call according to the RedHawks, trying to stretch it into a double. Manny hitting .352. First pitch in there for a strike. And Manny was visibly upset with the call, and Bobby Jones was even more upset, I think. Almost got himself run from base umpire Ryan West. Alexander, the first guy to play shortstop for the Orioles after Cal Ripken moved over to third base. And he rips this one down the left field line. Deep, hooking, foul. That one was well struck, and there's a count of no balls and 2 strikes. Interesting trivia around the Ripken streak, which we mentioned periodically. Len Sakata, now a minor league manager in the Giants system, was the last Orioles shortstop before Ripken started his streak. And Ripken, of course, eventually finished the streak as a third baseman. And Alexander was the first Orioles shortstop after Ripken. Here's a bouncer foul at the third base line. And former OU Sooner Ryan Miner was the first guy to take Ripken's place in the lineup when the streak ended. A couple of Oklahoma natives on this Salt Lake club. Reliever Eric Sear calls Ada home, and of course Ryan Buddy, their other catcher, from Midwest City right here in the Metro. The 0-2 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? No, they say on the appeal to the first base umpire. 1 out in the bottom of the fourth. Gonzalez at first and Alexander at the plate. And a 1-0 RedHawks lead. So far, this game kind of an opposite of last night when there was scoring early and often in a 10-8 RedHawk win. Here's the 1-2 pitch. High. The count goes to 2-2. Andrews was a reliever his first 2 outings of the year against Tucson. He is making his 6th straight start. He has gone fairly deep into games, went 5 1/3 last time in a win in one of the games of a doubleheader, so only a 7-inning game, and went 8 innings the time before that. at Portland in a no decision through 8 shutout innings. And did not get a decision. Here's his 2-2. Alexander fouls it to the top of the screen. In that game in Portland that Andrews went 8 shutout innings, the Stingers lost that 3-0 in 10 innings. So it was obviously scoreless all the way to the last of the 10th. So obviously a walk-off home run in that one. 2-2 with 1 out. Pitch low and inside. Count full. Alexander 1 for 1 in this game. Held back a couple of days when it looked like the Rangers might need him, but Michael Young's back stiffness was very fleeting, and it's hard to get Michael Young out of the lineup. 3-2 pitch, low and inside, ball 4. Third walk for Andrews. Down to second goes Gonzalez. And Ian Kinsler coming up. Ian drew a 4-pitch walk in the second inning. Kinsler, a native of Tucson. RedHawks have another Tucsonian, Will Smith, outfielder on the DL. In fact, Will's dad is here from Tucson to watch the series. Of course, Will not playing on the DL. Said that Kinsler and Smith were teammates for a time on some all-star teams growing up. First pitch, low, ball 1. I think it was around high school age, so that would have been a pretty good team, I think. 1 ball, no strikes to Kinsler. Hitting .235 with 8 home runs. So they're both looking forward. Now the runner goes off second base, dives back, and gets picked off. Gonzalez took 2 or 3 steps toward third, stopped. Andrews wheeled around and threw to second and got him 1-6, a pickoff. 2 outs, and Alexander remains at first. Adrian might have just been doing a bluff move. Adrian doesn't do much running, but he bluffed possibly 1 step too many. Not sure exactly what was up. And Andrews was able to wheel and throw him out. Throw over to first base, and Alexander is back. The RedHawks do not go to Tucson until late July. Kinsler and Smith, assuming they're both on the team and not up or wherever, another throw to first, will get to play in their hometowns. Another throw to first. So the RedHawks run themselves into the second out of the inning here. But they have been getting plentiful chances against Andrews, waiting for a true key hit. A 1-0, a swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch. Botts had a 2-out infield hit in the first inning to drive in the game's only run. It's 1-0 RedHawks. The Stingers, formerly known as the Salt Lake Buzz, that name changed, though, for the 0-1 season. A 1-1 in there for a strike. They ran into a copyright dispute with the Georgia Tech University mascot and decided not to pursue it, so they changed it to the Stingers. Their owner, Larry Miller, who owns the Utah Jazz, reportedly said on TV recently that they will be reverting to the old Salt Lake baseball name, the Bees, starting next year. Throw over to first and Alexander back. That was their name from the 20s until roughly the 60s. A 1-2 to Kinsler struck him out. A swing and a miss. In the inning, no runs on a hit, 1 man left. And through 4 complete, the score remains 1-0 Oklahoma as you listen to Super Talk 930 WKY. Back live at SBC, Bricktown Ballpark, RedHawks pitcher John Hudgens. Third-round pick 2 years ago, set to face Jeff Mathis, Luke Allen, and Nick Gorno for the Salt Lake Stingers. Been an excellent game for Hudgens. He hasn't walked a batter. He allowed consecutive hits in the third, and that's been it. 1 run, 5 hits for the RedHawks. No runs, 2 hits for Salt Lake. First pitch of the inning. Low for ball 1. Mathis grounded out on a brilliant play. And I'm not sure that that's overstating it, by third baseman Marshall McDougal in the second inning. It was an absolute gem. The 1-0 pitch. Mathis hits this one to center field and deep. Contact back, and that is gone. Out of the grassy hitter's eye in center field. It's a 1-1 game on a booming homer for Jeff Mathis. Mathis' 6th homer, his 18th run batted in. A leadoff homer here. That'll bring up Luke Allen. Allen hit a 2-run shot last night. First pitch low, ball 1. Allen lined out to right on a nice catch Allen lined out to left. To left on a nice catch by left fielder Jason Botts in the second inning. Here's a smash up the middle for a base hit. Thankfully, it missed Hudgens. Allen, a good left-handed hitter. And so a homer and a single here to break in the top of the 5th. That'll bring up Nick Gorno. Gorno struck out back in the 3rd inning. .313 average on the year, 5 homers, 22 runs batted in. Hudgens delivers. That's low, ball 1. And with that pitch low, Gerald Laird is going to go out and chat with Hudgens, who would allow just 2 singles in the first 4 innings, but has allowed a homer and a very solid single so far here. Tomorrow in the 7:05 game, it'll be left-hander Matt Riley to make his first home start against former RedHawk lefty Corey Lee. The 1-0 pitch, good breaking ball, but just inside. The count 2-0. It had Gorno flinching a little bit. The RedHawks just 1 for 5 tonight with runners in scoring position. 2-0 pitch, a little high, and the count 3-0. And you had to figure, and there's still a lot of time left. The RedHawks have had plenty of chances tonight, and they figure to have some more. It's tough to score 8 to 10 runs every game, and they've been a team that has tended to score well as the game wears on. 3-0 in there for a strike. So it's been low scoring to this point, and Hudgens will hope to keep it that way, and the RedHawks will hope that the 5th inning, which has been their charm inning of late, will be a big inning here again tonight. They scored 6 in the 5th inning yesterday. The runner goes from first, pitch is foul tipped, and the count 3-2. And in Fresno, the RedHawks had 2 big 5th innings. They had a 7-run 5th on Sunday and a 6-run 5th inning on Saturday. 3-2 to Gorno. Gorno calls Springfield, Mass home. Attended the University of Massachusetts. Runner goes, 3-2 pitch, high, ball 4. First walk of the game issued by Hudgens. First and second, nobody out. A run in the inning to tie the game 1-1, and here's Adam Pavkovich. 4-3 Texas in the bottom of the 8th in that interleague series. We'll check some other scores here. Pavkovich singled in the 3rd inning. Boy, Hudgens got out of the 3rd with a double play ball. Now he can't get out of this inning with a double play, but he can go a long way toward it. Here's a bunt, a popped up bunt, foul territory, nobody can get there. Hudgens, Gonzalez, and Laird went for it, but out of everybody's reach at strike 1. Pavkovich will try to move him over. Pittsburgh beat Colorado behind former Sooner Mark Redmond, 9-4. Yankees lead the Mets going to the ninth, 3-2. Florida ahead of Tampa Bay in the eighth inning, 7-5. Phillies lead Baltimore, 8-3 in the eighth. Minnesota pounding Milwaukee, 7-1 in the eighth. Here's the pitch, a bunt in front of home plate and a good one. Hudgens with it, throws to Kinsler covering first in time. It's a sacrifice, 1-4, the out recorded to first. Allen goes to third and Gorneau goes to second. And David Matranga trying to break this 1-1 tie. San Diego at Seattle, no score in the first inning. Oakland and San Francisco just underway, no score. Cardinals lead the Royals 6-4 in the seventh. Angels at Dodgers later. Finals in the interleague. Arizona over Detroit 6-2. Boston beats Atlanta 4-3. White Sox over the Cubs 5-1. Pitch to Matranga in there for a call, strike one. Blue Jays 6, the Nationals 1. That's a final, and Cincinnati behind Aaron Harang slips by Cleveland 2-1. The pitch inside. Right here, one out, top of the fifth. Allen at third, Gorneau at second, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Former Astros prospect David Matranga, who as of this at bat is hitting .258 with a homer and 12 runs batted in. Pitch, foul to the screen, and it's 1-2. Tomorrow we mention lefties Corey Lee and Matt Riley to go for the Stingers and the RedHawks respectively. Right-handers Dustin Mosley and John Wasden to go Sunday afternoon. The 1-2 in the dirt. Nearly a wild one. Nice play by Laird to go get it after it went off his chest protector and dribbled toward the first base dugout. No runner advance and the count 2-2. 1 run on 5 hits for the RedHawks, 1 run on 4 hits for Salt Lake. Stingers came back into the PCL in 1994. They're a long-time member of the league, though, prior to that. Into the stretch is Hudgens, the 2-2 pitch. A breaking ball almost hit him in the helmet. It's high and inside for ball 3, 3-2. Chris Prieto is on deck. Matranga spent quite a bit of time in this league with New Orleans, 2001 for 4 games, but all of the 02 season, much of 03. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Strikeout number 3 for Hudgens, and it comes at a tremendous time with runners at second and third and 1 out. Pitch looked like it had a lot of sink on it. So Prieto coming up with 2 outs. It popped up and grounded into a double play. And Prieto with good speed. It's not easy to double him up. Hit a pretty much tailor-made double play ball. Prieto, a veteran of this league, has played in this league going back as far as 96. Hudgens calls Laird out for a little chat. A 1-1 game here in the 5th. Laird goes back behind home plate. Here we go. Jeff Mathis opened this inning with a home run, center field. Allen singled, Gorneau walked. They were advanced on a sac bunt, and then Matranga struck out. The first pitch outside to Prieto for ball 1. RedHawks dressed in their home whites. RedHawks written in block printing across the front, brick red caps and black bill. Salt Lake in their road grays, the sleeveless vest-like tops. A 1-0 pitch high and outside, and the count 2-0. Kind of a bright red cap and short sleeve undershirt. Ticklish situation here for Hudgens. Prieto hitting .299, a homer and 8 runs batted in. Here's the 2-0 pitch. High and outside. First base is open, and you would think the lighter hitting Zach Sorensen on deck. So they haven't given Prieto anything to look at yet. Hope you can join us for the remaining games of this homestand. They're now going to make it intentional. They deliver ball 4 outside intentional. Still counts as a walk, and now they're loaded for Sorensen, who popped up and struck out in the game so far. Switch hitter will bat from the left side. RedHawks baseball coming to you live from SBC Bricktown Ballpark. 1-1 game. Let's see if Sorensen has had any bases loaded at bats this year. Flip our stats over. Nope, he has not. Just activated from the DL. Let's see if Hudgens has faced any bases loaded at bats. Opponents are 1 for 3 against him. Bouncer toward the middle. Alexander can't get it. It's into center field for a base hit. Allen and Gorno score. Runner going to third. He's safe. Runner going to second. He's out. 8-5-4. It was a base hit by Sorensen. It scored 2 runs to make the score 3-1. Prieto went safely to third, but Sorensen on the back end of it tried to advance to second on the throw and was out Conti to McDougal to Kinsler, but a 2-run single with 2 outs by Sorensen, his second and third RBIs of the year, making a 3-run inning on 3 hits. No errors and 1 man left. Middle of the 5th inning, Hawks now down 3-1 as you listen to Super Talk 930 WKY. Salt Lake up 3-1. Rashad Eldridge took the first pitch for ball 1 here in the bottom of the 5th. The next pitch from lefty Clayton Andrews is low for ball 2. Eldridge led off the 3rd with a double. He's leading off the last of the 5th right here. Then Herman and McDougal. The pitch. And there's a line drive to left. Coming in is Allen, and he makes a leaping catch. Allen came in on that one and almost maybe came in a step too much, but was able to leap up and make the grab. Ball was hit hard. So Rashad swinging the bat well. Double yesterday, a double and a line out tonight. And that'll bring up Herman, who has singled and walked and stolen 2 bases and scored the RedHawks' only run. A 2-out, 2-run single by Zach Sorensen broke a 1-1 tie. Andrews delivers. In there for a strike. Well, yesterday both teams had shots at the lead, including in the 7th inning. Stingers had a lead, then the RedHawks took it back. The 0-1 is low. Ball and a strike to the right-handed hitting Herman, the former Oakland Athletic. Signed as a free agent in the offseason. The 1-1 pitch. And that's a bunt, and bunting through it for a strike as Herman, the count 1-2. Nobody's needed to be up in either bullpen. Andrews has been able to work around a few base runners. The 1-2 is smacked on the ground to short. Routine play for Sorensen. He throws to first in time. The throw was not routine. It pulled Kochman off the bag, but he tagged Herman going by. Sorensen has showed, I don't know whether it's because he was inactive earlier this year or what, but he's shown some arm problems today. Backed up on one ball, didn't get the throw there in time on the Botts base hit. A subsequent ground ball shorted the throw to first, and Kochman dug it out, and here Kochman makes the tag. Marshall McDougall, who's flied out twice, comes up. 2 outs, nobody on. The pitch. Low ball 1. In games started by lefties this year, the RedHawks have a record of 5-6. Here's the pitch. That's low. And they count 2 balls and no strikes. 3-1 the score. The RedHawks have done a good job coming from behind this year. 2-0 pitch. Misses a little outside, evidently. And they count 3 balls and no strikes. Of the RedHawks' 21 wins, they are 21-20 on the year. In 12 of them, they've trailed at some point. Grounder toward the middle. Diving. Stopped by Sorensen. Throws to first. In time. A very close play at first base. McDougall throws his helmet way up in the air. And I think McDougall may be getting tossed from the game or maybe not. I think he got pointed at by the first base umpire, Jason Kaiser, but I don't think he was tossed. A very close play, a nice diving stop by Sorensen back of second base. The throw across was a bang-bang play. And in the inning, 3 up and 3 down. On we go to the 6th, 3-1 Salt Lake at Super Talk 930 WKY. Salt Lake to bat here in the top of the 6th inning. They are up 3-1. 3, 4, and 5 hole hitters coming up as the inflatable mascots and entertainers, Superstars, entertain the fans. This is the routine where a guy dressed in a Bat Boy outfit winds up inside the inflatable costume of a character called Roger Clamens, who engulfs the guy, throws pieces of his uniforms out, and then the guy comes out stripped down to his shorts. Casey Kochman to lead it off. He is flied out and grounded out. Curtis Pride and Jeff Mathis to follow against John Hudgens, who allowed a 3-run 5th inning on a homer by Mathis, a single and a walk, and then 2 outs later, after an intentional walk, a single by Zach Sorensen brought in 2. The first pitch to Kochman in there for a strike. 0-1 to Kochman, who's currently hitting .273. Hudgens delivers. There's a foul tip. Back to the screen, and the count no balls and 2 strikes. Kochman has had a lot of injury problems. Had a hamstring tear a couple of years ago. Had a variety of ailments last year. Rated the number 6 overall prospect by Baseball America and all the minors coming into this year. The 0-2 pitch is inside, and the count 1-2. The number 1 prospect, 3 different years for the Angels, 02, 04, and 05. The 1-2 just a little bit low. And the count 2-2. It probably won't take much from here on out for one of the RedHawks to get an early shower, as they have expressed displeasure with some of the calls tonight. 2-2 is lifted to right. Routine to Eldridge. He comes in a couple steps, and there's one down. And they've limited Kochman. He's just 0 for 7 in the series so far. Here's Curtis Pride. McDougal tossed his helmet up in the air, and I'm not sure the first base umpire, Jason Kaiser, saw it on that play that ended the bottom of this inning, or the previous half inning. When he did see it, he pointed at McDougal but did not eject him. Bobby Jones had a few things to say from across the diamond. Pride, first ball swinging, grounds it to second baseman Ian Kinsler. Throws first in time, and that's 3 groundouts for Curtis Pride, their cleanup hitter. Came in hitting .328. 3-1 Salt Lake. That'll bring up their catcher Jeff Mathis, who homered to center field in the 5th inning. And the reason that former 3-year Oklahoma State star Ryan Buddy out of Midwest City High is not playing. Mathis, the number 1 catcher. First pitch, swing and a miss for strike 1. Mathis' first-round sandwich pick, taken between the first and second rounds as compensation for the Angels losing a free agent at one time. Back in 2001, 33rd overall pick. The pitch just missed. Fastball outside, and they count 1-1. Last year, a Double-A Arkansas hit .227 with 14 home runs. Recruited as a quarterback by Florida State, but did not go. Number 4, Angels prospect. Pitch is low, and the count 2-1. The number 3 rated catcher throughout the minor leagues, according to Baseball America, coming into this year's action. Bases empty, 2 outs. The pitch to Mathis, low. And they count 3-1. Mathis with 3 hits in his last 16 at bats, although he did have a home run, a monster shot to center field in the previous inning when they sent 7 men to the plate. Hudgens delivers, check swing. The pitch was low and away. They say no swing. And a walk on a 3-1 pitch. That's the 3rd walk for Hudgens tonight. That'll bring up Luke Allen, who is lined to left and single. 3 runs on 5 hits for the Stingers. 1 run on 5 hits for the RedHawks. Hudgens fairly close to getting onto that 5th inning, or at least within 1 batter, but the Sorensen 2-run single, the difference so far. First pitch low and inside to Allen. Allen hitting .308 on the year with 5 home runs, one of those last night, 24 runs batted in, spent last year as Keith McDonald's teammate, the Nashville Sounds. A 1-0 pitch is outside, and the count 2-0. Hudgens in his 6th inning of work. His longest start this year was a 7-inning outing, Monday, May 9th against Round Rock here. Game in which the RedHawks were shut out 4-0. Throw over to first base, and back standing is Mathis. The homer earlier by Mathis, just the 2nd allowed by Hudgens in AAA this year. He allowed one to Wilson Delgado at Albuquerque in his first start last month. 2-0 to Allen, outside, and the count 3-0. The RedHawks, a game over 500 at 21-20. And just 2 back of first. Pitch, high, ball 4. So consecutive 2-out walks. After there were 2 out and nobody on. And Nick Gorno coming up. Gorno has struck out and walked, and Lee Tunnell is going to walk out to the mound for a chat. In the 8th inning in New Orleans, Colorado Springs leads the Zephyrs 5-1. In the 9th inning in Des Moines, Fresno leads the Iowa Cubs 8-3. Sacramento ahead of Omaha 3-0 in the 7th. Nashville at Tacoma, no score after a rain delay early. They're in the 2nd inning. Tucson leads Round Rock 5-3 in the 3rd. Tucson had a 4-run first inning. Albuquerque batting in the top of the 1st, no score in Las Vegas. Portland leading Memphis 2-0 in the 2nd inning. Bill Pulsifer on the hill for Memphis in that one tonight. Home plate umpire Travis Reininger goes out to break up a little chat. The conversation is over, and Nick Gorno, 313 hitter on the year with 5 homers, steps in. 2 outs. Consecutive walks have made it tricky here for the 2nd straight inning for Hudgens. The RedHawks starting core has been pushed around a little bit lately. Certainly the last couple of games. Here's the pitch. There's a high fly ball to center field. Deep, but not deep enough to cause trouble. Conti back short of the warning track, makes the catch. Gorno flies out on the first pitch. No runs, no hits, 2 men left. Let's move to the bottom of the 6th. The score remains 3-1 Salt Lake on Super Talk 930 WKY. With Josh Butler at the controls, I'm Jim Byers. Welcome back to the bottom of the 6th inning. Here on WKY and SportsJuice.com. We'll be on the air 6:45 Central tomorrow. The first pitch 7:05 for Game 3 of this series. Texas just beat Houston at America Field 7-3. So the Rangers continuing to do well. 3 runs, 5 hits for Salt Lake. 1 run, 5 hits for the RedHawks as Jason Conti leads off the 6th. Then Jason Botts and Gerald Laird against left-hander Clayton Andrews. 1-0 with a 4.99 ERA. And got his only decision last time in a win against the Omaha Royals. Here's the pitch to Conti. Big off-speed breaking ball high for ball 1. Conti, 261 hitter on a 13-game hitting streak, trying to make it 14, which would be the team's longest of the year. And there's a well-hit ball to right. Heat, Gorno at the track, near the wall. It's gone. A leadoff homer by Conti into the right field bullpen, and it's 3-2 Salt Lake. And there's your longest hitting streak of the year by a Hawk, 14 games. Took a 1-ball, no-strike pitch and ripped it to right. Takes the team lead with 10 homers and 29 runs batted in. Well, RedHawks lead the league in homers. That's homer number 65. And naturally, they do a lot better when they homer than when they don't. Here's Jason Potts. First pitch in there for a strike. When the RedHawks homer in a ball game, they're 19-12 this year. When they don't homer, they are 2-8. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch, and they count 0-2. And Clayton Andrews, who played on a touring independent league team last year, was picked up by the Angels in the offseason as a free agent. Potts has driven in a run with an infield hit and grounded out today. The 0-2 check swing got him. High fastball, he went around. A 3-pitch strikeout, Andrews' third fan of the game, if you want to call it that. His third K. And Gerald Laird, who's grounded out twice to the third baseman coming up, tried to bunt on the first pitch of the fourth inning. Got a little bit too much of it. And was thrown out at first. Laird hitting .321, having a good return season to AAA. First pitch in there for a strike. Just about a year ago, tore up his thumb in a play at the plate at Arlington. And after spending some time on the DL, struggled down the stretch last year. The 0-1 pitch is outside and they count 1-1. There's activity in the Salt Lake bullpen. Here's the 1-1. Laird fouls it to the screen. It's a right-hander, so we can get a number. And it is Mike Brunet in the bullpen for the Stingers. We're coming up on the anniversary of Laird's thumb injury. Next pitch, a swing and a miss on the 1-1 pitch. A breaking ball in the dirt. And they count 1-2. You know what? I thought May 20th seemed familiar. 1 week ago tonight. 1 year ago. 1 year ago tonight. Effectively ended Laird's season. Well, technically it didn't. But he was having an excellent time of it up until then. 6 homers, 19 runs batted in on the year here in AAA for Laird this year. 1 out, nobody on. 3-2 Salt Lake. Pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Good breaking ball by Clayton Andrews. He has struck out 2 since the leadoff homer by Conti. And that'll bring up Adrian Gonzalez. Gonzalez 1 for 2 in the ball game. Adrian singled in the 4th inning and then got picked off second base a little bit later on to create the second out of that inning. First pitch in there for strike. So Andrews has been effective. He's thrown strikes. Doesn't throw that hard, but he's been able to throw strikes with his breaking ball. Here's the 0-1. That's a little low. And they count 1-1. And the right-hander, Brunet, evidently the next pitcher that'll be coming in. 1-1 to Gonzalez. He hits one hard and foul up the first base line. 2 outs, nobody on. Adrian hitting .267. 6 homers and 17 runs batted in. San Diego area native, first overall pick in the 2000 draft taken by the Marlins. A 1-2 offering. Just outside. Pretty close pitch. The count 2-2. Hudgens will face the 8, 9, and 1 hole hitters, Pavkovich, Matranga, and Prieto in the next inning. The 2-2 is bounced to the second baseman. Matranga throws to first, and that retires the side. But the RedHawks get a run on a hit. The homer by Conti. Nobody left on base. And we've completed 6. It's a score 3-2 Salt Lake on Super Talk 930 WKY. Conti, 261 hitter on a 13-game hitting streak, trying to make it 14, which would be the team's longest of the year. And there's a well-hit ball to right. Deep. Gorno at the track, near the wall. It's gone. A leadoff homer by Conti into the right field bullpen, and it's 3-2 Salt Lake. The seventh inning at the brick. Adam Pavkovich, right-handed hitting Salt Lake Stingers infielder, to lead it off against John Hudgens, who has walked 4, struck out 3 to this point in the game. Allowed 3 fifth-inning runs, and the Stingers lead the game 3-2. The RedHawks have the league's best offense, but tonight, lefty Clayton Andrews has kept them in check. And here's the first pitch in there for strike. Sometimes lefties with a good breaking ball that don't throw that hard can be difficult to handle. RedHawks kept a lefty up in the bullpen. Here's the 0-1 to Pavkovich. In the dirt, low and away, in the count 1-1. They get Michael Tejera up. Tejera missed the last road trip to be with his father, who was in the hospital. Hasn't pitched since the last homestand. The 1-1. A little bit low. Pavkovich with a base hit and a sac bunt today. And in yesterday's game, he was 2 for 2 with a walk, so he's technically not really been retired in this series. Here's the 2-1. Got a half swing grounder foul up the third base line, in the count 2-2. Pavkovich hitting at a 293 clip as of this at bat. Couple of homers, 5 runs batted in. Here's the pitch, just inside. Count goes full. Only one leadoff hitter has reached tonight against Hudgens, and that was the leadoff homer by Matheson, the 5th. 3 runs, 5 hits for Salt Lake, 2 runs on 6 hits for the RedHawks. Payoff pitch to Pavkovich's chopped foul up the third base line. We have a few this date in baseball histories for you. This date in 1948, in front of only 5,001 fans in Chicago, Joe DiMaggio had 4 extra base hits for the 4th time in his career, and he hit for the cycle. It was a high pop-up to shallow left. The shortstop Alexander goes out and makes the catch, and there's 1 down. And that'll bring up David Matranga. DiMaggio on this date in 48 hits for the cycle for the 4th time in his career. And a 13-2 win over the White Sox. This date, here's the first pitch. Now time called. Matranga has singled and struck out in the game. Hudgens was going into his windup, and then time was called. Here's the pitch. Matranga shows bunt, and the pitch misses low and outside for ball 1. This date in 83, the 4 strikeouts in a loss to the Padres, Steve Carlton moves past Walter Johnson into 2nd place on the all-time career strikeout list with 3,511. The 1-0 pitch is low, and the count 2 balls, no strikes. This date in 85, the Cleveland-Milwaukee game becomes the first rain out of the season, ending a record streak of 485 big league games from the start of the year without a postponement. The 2-0, big swing and a miss by Matranga. This date in 87, the Brewers end a 12-game losing streak by beating the White Sox. 2-1 is a little high, and the count 3-1. Now the kicker to that is the Brewers started that year with a 13-game winning streak. Robin Ventura hit a grand slam on this date in 99 in both games of a doubleheader. Here's a ground ball foul up the third base line. The count goes full to Matranga, the right-handed hitting second baseman. And on this date in 01, Barry Bonds became the 13th player in Major League history to hit homers in 4 consecutive at-bats. Previous day, he had homered in his final 2 at-bats and homered in his first 2 official at-bats on this date in 01. 3-2 pitch is low for ball 4. 5 walks for Hudgens. It's easily a season high for him, and that'll do it for him. As with the lefty hitting Chris Prieto coming up, Bobby Jones emerges from the dugout. We'll take a 90-second pitching change break. It's 3-2 Salt Lake here in the 7th on Super Talk 930 WKY. I can call for it. Do you mind? Okay. Lefty Michael Tejera comes out of the bullpen here with 1 out and 1 on in the 7th inning, and left-handed hitting Chris Prieto coming up. 3-2 Salt Lake. The left-handed Tejera 0-1 on the year with 1 save, a 3.55 ERA. This is his 12th game. In 12 2/3 innings, he's allowed 12 hits and 5 runs. Walked 4, struck out 11. Opponents hitting .240. Tejera's last outing was way back on May 6th. It was 2 weeks ago tonight. He missed the whole road trip to Sacramento and Fresno when his dad was ill. In his last outing, in fact, he left the RedHawks having not allowed a run in 4 straight appearances, spanning 4 1/3 innings, and he only had allowed a run in 1 of his last 8 appearances. So Tejera had been going in good form. He stranded all 9 inherited runners that he's faced this year, including the bases loaded twice. He inherits a runner at first base here. Hudgens goes 6 1/3 innings. Here's the first pitch. With a pop-up over the screen and over everything and out of play behind us. Prieto 0 for 2 with a walk. Hudgens allows 5 hits, and to this point, 3 runs. They were earned. 5 walks and 3 strikeouts. And he is on the hook. So Tejera will try to get out of the 7th inning. Pitch. Prieto bounces one toward Kinsler. He bare hands it at second, throws to first for the out. No chance to get Matranga, the lead runner. He's safe at second. The bouncing ball toward the middle was played by the second baseman Kinsler with a bare hand, and he threw to first. 2 outs, a runner at second, and Zach Sorensen, who delivered a 2-out, 2-run single in the 5th coming up. 3 runs on 5 hits for the Stingers. They did draw 5 walks against Hudgens, 1 of those intentional. 2 runs on 6 hits for the RedHawks. Sorensen 1 for 3 in the game. Tejera delivers, breaking ball outside, and the count 1-0. And we'll see when the RedHawks hit in the bottom of the 7th with the bottom third of the order, Alexander, Kinsler, and Eldridge, if they'll face the right-hander Brunet, who continues to loosen, or if they face Andrews. The 1-0 pitch is low, and the count 2-0. Live here at SBC Bricktown Ballpark in Oklahoma City. Second game of the 6-game homestand and 4-game series. 2-0. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, they say in the appeal to the first base umpire, Jason Kaiser. And the count 2-1. Sorensen playing in just his 4th game since being activated from extended spring. Here's the 2-1 from Tejera. Bouncer to third. McDougal has it, has plenty of time to throw to first, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, a walk and 1 man left. Stretch time at the brick, 3-2 Salt Lake on Super Talk 930 WK1. Out of the bullpen, right-hander Mike Brunet comes in for the bottom of the 7th. 3-2 Salt Lake in front. He'll face Manny Alexander, Ian Kinsler, and Rashad Eldridge. Alexander, 1 for 1 with a walk. Digs in here. Brunet on the year, 5-2 with 6.11 ERA. This is his 12th game. And the first pitch, low and outside for ball 1. 17 2/3 innings. He's allowed 23 hits and 12 runs. Walked 7, struck out 16 in 17 2/3. The pitch. Fastball for a strike, and they count 1-1. Opponents have touched him up fairly well, though. They're hitting .319 against him. The 1-1 pitch is high, and he's obviously gotten a lot of wins because even in a relief role, he's won 5 games, which is in a multiple-way tie for second in the league in victories. Alexander, the league's 7th leading hitter when play began today, hitting .352. Pitch. The ground ball into left field for a base hit. Potential tying runners aboard in a 3-2 Salt Lake lead. Brunet yields a base hit to the first guy that he faced. His last outing was on May 15th, which was Sunday against Iowa. He went 2 innings, allowed a hit and an unearned run. Remember we told you earlier about that May 5th game where the starter tonight, Clayton Andrews, threw 8 scoreless innings, and they went into the 10th, and Portland hit a game-winning homer. Well, it was Josh Barfield that hit it off Brunet. Here's the pitch. It's in there for a strike to Ian Kinsler, who was walked and struck out. Brunet spent the year in the spring in the Padres spring training camp. Acquired right at the start of the season. Here's the 0-1. There's a check swing. The pitch was low, and there was no swing. And the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Last year, Mike Brunet was in this organization at Arkansas and Salt Lake. One out, nobody out, one on here. 1-1 pitch, and Kinsler hits it high in the air to left. Slicing foul and heading toward the stands and out of play. The count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Kinsler hitting .233, 8 homers, 28 runs batted in. The starter Andrews went 6 innings, allowed 6 hits and 2 runs. They were earned, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. And he is in line for the win. But the RedHawks, who came from a rundown in the 7th yesterday, trying to do the same thing right here. They get a leadoff single from Alexander, and now Kinsler is up. He hit a 2-run homer in the 7th last night. Throw over to first and Alexander back. And what a homer it was. One of those majestic shots that you know is gone the minute he made contact. Alexander leads away from first, being held on by Casey Kochman. Another throw over there. Pretty close play. Back safely. Matranga at second. Sorensen at short. Pavkovich at third. Luke Allen in left. Chris Prieto in center. Nick Dvorno in right. Another throw to first. And diving back safely is Alexander. Manny takes a moment to dust himself off after 3 straight dives back. 7,853 the attendance here tonight on this Friday night. 7:05 game tomorrow, back to the usual start time. Brunet ready. The 1-2 pitch in there for a called strike 3. Second time Kinsler has struck out tonight, but the first time the RedHawks have been rung up on a called third strike. Rashad Eldridge to hit next. Final score in Iowa, Fresno beats the I-Cubs 8-5. Colorado Springs has beaten New Orleans 5-1. Tacoma leads Nashville 2-0 in the 4th. Sacramento and Omaha tied in the 9th inning 3-3. Pitch to Eldridge. He bunts up the third base line in a good one. Brunet off the mound to get it. Throws to first in time. Potential tying run is at second base. Sack works. Pitcher to first baseman Kochman. A nice bunt by Eldridge, who is a strong fundamental player. 2 outs, a runner at second for Esteban Herman. Eldridge made a great play yesterday to save a run in the outfield. A diving stop on a ball hit the right center. He does a lot of little things well. Here's Herman, who swings the bat well, hitting .348. 1 for 2 with a walk. Trying to deliver a 2-out RBI single here. The pitch in there for a strike. Check swing by Herman. Herman has been terrific with 2 outs and runners in scoring position this year, hitting .435. Here's the 0-1 pitch. In there for a strike. Good breaking ball, and it's 0-2. 3-2 Salt Lake in front. Tucson leads Round Rock 5-3 in the 6th. Portland leads Memphis 4-0 in the 4th. The 0-2 pitch. Low and away. The latest report we had on the Albuquerque-Las Vegas game was no score in the first inning. So we're wondering what's up with that. Now we got no score in the bottom of the first. 2 outs here in the 7th. Alexander at second. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Bouncer foul into the third base dugout. Ricardo Rodriguez, RedHawks starting pitcher, gets the ball, flips it into stands. As one of the superstars, dressed as the Harry Canary character, dances around on the RedHawks dugout. Brunet in his first inning of work. For the 1-2 count on Herman, the pitch. Chopper toward third. Waiting for it is Pavkovich. He throws to first, and the inning is over on the ground out. No runs, 1 hit. The leadoff single for Alexander goes for naught. And through 7, the score remains 3-2 Salt Lake on Super Talk 930 WKY. Welcome back to SBC Bricktown Ballpark. Michael Tejera out for the 8th inning. You would think to at least face the first two hitters, lefties Casey Kochman and Curtis Pride. Vladimir Nunez loosening up in the RedHawks bullpen. Here's the first pitch in there for a strike. Salt Lake leads this one 3-2. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Stingers. 2 runs, 7 hits for the RedHawks. Kochman 0 for 7 in the series with an RBI. The 0-1 is inside. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Kochman's average has dipped to 271 on the year with 1 homer and 21 runs batted in. Here's the pitch. Broken bat, little roller toward the shortstop Alexander, who backhands it and throws in time. Man, he got all set for that and waited for it on the backhand, but was set to make the throw as soon as he got it, and there's 1 out. Nothing like that kind of hollow thwack when a bat gets broken like that. The barrel didn't go flying out to short, but that's a useless piece of lumber right now. And here's Curtis Pride, who was grounded out 3 times to the right side of the infield. Curtis's average has dipped to 320. Shows bunt. First pitch, breaking ball from the lefty Tejera outside for ball 1. Tejera came in with a runner at first and 1 out in the 7th. Got both hitters that he needed. He's retired all 3 that he's faced. And with the right-handed hitting Jeff Mathis up next, they may go to Nunez right there. We'll see. The 1-0 way inside hits him. Pride squared the butt, and the breaking ball came way in and ate him up and hit him with a pitch. And that'll bring up Mathis. The starter, Hudgens, went 6 1/3, allowed 5 hits and 3 runs earned, so a quality start, 5 walks and 3 strikeouts. Tejera will be allowed to face Mathis. He grounded out in the 2nd, homered to begin the 5th. At the time, tied the game at 1. And walked in the 6th. Pitch, a little high for ball 1. Nobody up in the Salt Lake bullpen, so they will go with Brunet again in the 8th. The runner goes, pitch is swung on and missed, and the ball goes back to the screen. It's a stolen base. The runner took off, and the pitch was a swing and a miss. It looked a little like a foul tip, but the ball just popped out of Laird's glove and went back to the screen. Fans think it was a foul ball. And the runner should go back to first, but no contact made with the bat. The 1-1 pitch is high, so all of a sudden now, Tejera with a tricky situation. Mathis having a pretty good offensive year, hitting .287. He hit a 6th home run earlier. 3-2 Salt Lake. The 2-1 pitch, breaking ball in there. The count 2-2. Now Harry Canary, the Superstars character, dumping some confetti or something over the upper deck railing on the first base side. Fireworks to follow, compliments of McDonald's, a Friday night feature here at the Brick. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Actually foul tipped it into Laird's glove, so there's 2 outs in the inning. And that'll bring up Luke Allen, who was 1 for 2 with a walk. Allen lined to left, singled and walked, so he's been pretty productive tonight. Hitting at a .308 clip. Pitch, sidearm delivery in there for strike. Tejera with a low arm slot, and sometimes he will dip that left arm a little bit lower, especially with the lefty Allen up. That pitch probably looked like it was coming from behind him because Mike Tejera does work from the first base side of the rubber. 3-2 game in Salt Lake's favor. Here's the pitch. Another sidearm delivery, and Allen baffled. Partial swing and a miss, and the count 0-2. Pride was hit by a pitch with 1 out here. He was credited with a steal of second base during the Mathis at bat. And now 2 gone and a runner at second, and Tejera trying to strand him right there. here in the 8th inning. Time called. Tahara steps off the rubber. Botson left, Conti in center, Eldridge in right. Laird behind the plate catching Tahara. Gonzalez, Kinsler, Alexander, and McDougal around the infield first to third. The 0-2 to Allen struck him out. On a slider away on another sidearm delivery. Good inning for Tahara. No runs, no hits, one man left. They have left 6 men on. We're in the middle of the 8th, and it's 3-2 Salt Lake as you listen to Super Talk 930 WKY. Reliever Mike Brunet to face Marshall McDougal to lead off the bottom of the 8th here in Oklahoma City. It's 3-2 Salt Lake. The RedHawks, after scoring 10 runs in each of the last 2 games and compiling 48 runs in the previous 5 games, winning 4 of those. In a pitcher's battle here. McDougal 0 for 3 leads it off. Brunet delivers. McDougal bunts. Back toward the pitcher on the third base side. He throws to first in time. 1-3, McDougal out at first on a first pitch bunt. They made Brunet come off the mound to get it on the third base side, and he threw a strike to first. There's one down, and that'll bring up Conti. That's twice the RedHawks have tried a first pitch bunt up the third base side, and they've both been decent bunts, but not good enough. And Conti, who made the score 3-2 Salt Lake with a homer in the 6th to hit next. He hit his homer off the starter Clayton Andrews. First pitch in there for a strike. The Redhawks are out hitting them 7-5, but Salt Lake has drawn 5 walks and had a batter hit by a pitch today. The 0-1 in there for a strike. Taken by Jason, and the count 0-2. Conti extended his hitting streak to 14 games earlier. If you'd like your son or daughter to be a RedHawks bat kid for a night, go by any of the 23 Arvest Bank locations and register. The 0-2, a fastball got him swinging. Good high fastball. 2 strikeouts for Andrews, 2 up and 2 down in the 8th, and Bops to hit next. Winning entries in the Arvest Bank RedHawks bat kid drawings get 3 tickets to the game. So sign up your youngster at any of the 23 Arvest Bank locations here in the city. There's one not too far from the ballpark on Lincoln Boulevard, just a little ways north of the state capitol. Here's Bops, who's 1 for 3 with a run batted in. First pitch in there for a called strike. Bops with an infield hit and an RBI back in the first inning. Brunet calls time and steps off. Joel Peralta loosening up in the Salt Lake bullpen. Here's the 0-1 to the left-handed hitting Bots. In there for a strike, and it's 0-2. What an inning for Brunet. He has not delivered one out of the strike zone yet. Struck out Conti on an 0-2 pitch. McDougal with a first pitch bunt. Here's the 0-2 to Bots. Check swing, got him on a pitch in the dirt. No, they say he didn't swing. Hoo-hoo. I think the RedHawks caught a break there. So Botts hitting .299. 9 homers. He drove in his 27th run earlier. Last night went 2 for 4 here. Awaiting the 1-2 from Brunet. On its way, high. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Vladimir Nunez loosening up for the RedHawks. Joel Peralta in the bullpen for the Stingers. Brunet's 2-2 pitch. Ground ball, base in the right field on a broken bat, it sounded like. A 2-2 pitch muscled into right by Botts on a good piece of hitting. The guy has got some strength. Here's Gerald Laird, who's got 2 ground outs and a strikeout on his book for tonight. It's the 8th hit for the RedHawks. RedHawk pitching, John Hudgens and Michael Tejera have limited the Stingers to just 5 hits and 5 walks tonight. The Stingers lead at 3-2 in the 8th. Tomorrow, Preferred Hospice Celebrity Swing Spectacular and Preferred Hospice Baseball is given away, so get here early for the 7:05 game. Saturday night, usually the giveaway night here at the Brick. Here's the pitch to Laird. It's in there for a called strike 1. Our next Saturday night game here will be on the 4th of June. That'll be the first game of that homestand, and that'll be the Dodge Velcro Wallet giveaway night. Laird hitting .319. The 0-1 is hit high in the air, deep right center field. Prieto pursuing it near the wall, and he's got it on the warning track. Arm's length from the wall in deep right center field. Laird flirts with a home run that would have put the RedHawks in the lead, but as it is, no runs on a hit and a man left. RedHawks have stranded 6. We go to the 9th. The RedHawks down 3-2 on Super Talk 930 WKY. Hey, Josh, do you have any other spots you need to run? Yeah, run another one if you can. This is going to be a long break. Changing pitchers. Just add a minute. Well, a minute from the coming up at the end of this spot. Well, no, you know what? Yeah, go ahead and do it. You don't have a 30 you can run? That'll be easier. Okay, thanks. I was afraid a minute might be too much. Yeah. On we go to the 9th inning, 3-2 Salt Lake. Bottom third of the Stingers order, Nick Gorno, Adam Pavkovich, and David Matranga to face Vlad Nunez, the third pitcher used tonight by the RedHawks. Previous pitcher Tejera goes an inning and 2/3, allows no hits or runs, no walks, a hit batter and 2 strikeouts. John Hudgens allowed 3 runs on 5 hits and 6 1/3, and he's on the hook. As Gorno, who is 0 for 2 with a walk, steps to the plate against Nunez. 1-1 with 4 saves, a 5.14 ERA. This is his 17th appearance to lead the team. First pitch low, ball 1. He's allowed 26 hits in 21 innings. He's allowed 12 runs, walked 7, struck out 17. Opponent's hitting .310. The 1-0, a huge swing and a miss. The count 1-1. Last appearance for Nunez was on Tuesday in Fresno. He pitched the 7th inning with the RedHawks trailing at the time 10-6. Allowed just a 2-out infield hit, pitched 1 inning. The RedHawks wound up tying that in the 9th. Here's a ground ball base hit up the middle to the left of shortstop Manny Alexander, and Gorneau with a leadoff single. And that'll bring up Adam Pavkovich. That game on Tuesday, Keith McDonald hit a game-tying slam in the 9th inning with nobody out after the bases had been walked loaded on 12 straight pitches by Kevin Correa. Brandon Puffer came in and gave up the grand slam to McDonald. The RedHawks wound up losing in 12. 3-2 Salt Lake right here. Pavkovich has already laid down a sac bunt tonight. He's 1 for 2. 289 hitter on the year. The runner goes, pitch is popped up to shallow left. Fairly long run for Botts, but he's underneath it, and he makes the catch, and back to first goes Gorneau. There's 1 out in the top of the 9th. A 9-hole hitter, David Matranga, coming up. Matranga 1 for 2 with a walk as right-hander Joel Peralta, who leads them in saves with 6, loosening up. Looks like we'll see him in the bottom of the 9th when the RedHawks go back Gonzalez, Alexander, and Kinsler. Nunez wheels and throws to first, and Gorneau is back. Nunez, by and large lately, has been very good. He just had one nightmare outing. Here's a snap throw to first. And diving back safely is Gorneau. The pitch was a strike to the plate, so the count 0-1 to Matranga. And Laird came up throwing, and Gorneau just got back. So a no ball, 1 strike count here. Matranga hitting .254 on the year. Gorneau leads away from first, and the 0-1 pitch is a little low, and the count 1 ball, 1 strike. Live here in the 9th at SPC Bricktown Ballpark. 3-2 Salt Lake. RedHawks out hitting them 8-6. The RedHawks usually win the game when they out hit the opponent. 16-3 in those situations. The 1-1 is low and the count 2-1. Still a chance they can come back and win this one in the 9th. Runner at first, 1 out. Nunez had a nightmarish outing 3 appearances ago, May 10th at Sacramento, when he allowed 6 runs in an inning. But really, and he allowed 1 run in his subsequent outing in 3 innings in Fresno and earning a save, so he pitched well that day. The runner goes, 2-1 pitch, a swing and a miss. The throw to second is in plenty of time. Alexander had to chase Gorneau around a little to make the tag. 2-6, they catch him stealing. The pitch was a swing and a miss for strike 2, and it's 2-2 to Matranga. As Matranga swung on a pitch that was outside, just to try to protect his runner, and it didn't matter as Gorneau was thrown out by a mile. 2-2, 2 outs. Nunez into the stretch, and the pitch. It's a fly ball to right on the bit of a liner. Coming in as Eldridge, and he makes the catch. No runs on a hit, nobody left. Decently hit the opposite way, but Eldridge able to get under it. Let's go to the bottom of the 9th. 3-2, Salt Lake on Super Talk 930 WKY. Okay. To the bottom of the ninth. This is it for the RedHawks. Down a run, 3-2. Joel Peralta attempting to close it out for Salt Lake. Peralta 4-1 on the year with a 2.76 ERA and a team-leading 6 saves. This is his 16th game. He's allowed just 9 hits and 5 runs in 16 and a third innings. Walked 5, struck out 16. Opponents hitting a minuscule 158 against him. Peralta signed as a free agent back in February of '99. He's out of the Dominican originally. Last year made 39 appearances for Salt Lake, going 4-2 with a 4.98 ERA. Adrian Gonzalez to lead it off. Then Eddie Alexander and Ian Kinsler. 3 runs, 6 hits for the Stingers. 2 runs on 8 hits for the RedHawks. It's been an error-free game and a well-pitched game. Both pitching staffs will welcome that, but the RedHawks trying for a come-from-behind bottom of the ninth win. Here's the first pitch to Gonzalez. High and outside, ball 1. Now, opening night, the RedHawks went 11 and got a walk-off homer from Jason Potts, who tied the game in the ninth as recently as Tuesday. Gonzalez 1 for 3. The pitch, swing, a foul tip into the glove of Jeff Mathis. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Boy, the right fielder, Nick Gorno, doesn't want anything to get over his head. He is severely deep in right field. Everybody is deep, really. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Foul back to the screen, the count of ball and 2 strikes. Glad you've joined us tonight. This one started at 8 o'clock. Concert we were due to have here tonight got canceled, but we kept the game time at 8 since it had been widely announced that tonight's game would start at that time. Back to a 7:05 start tomorrow. Here's the 1-2. Bouncer to the second baseman. Matranga gets it on a big hop, and there's 1 out. Alexander is next. He is 2 for 2 with a walk. The RedHawks have tended to beat teams big this year. In close games and low-scoring games, the RedHawks haven't fared as well. They're 3-7 in 1-run ball games. Still a chance. 1 out. Alexander, the potential tying run at the plate. Hitting .357. First pitch in there for a strike from the hard-throwing Peralta. Peralta, always a reliever, has made 1 start in his career. Back in 2000 in Butte, or with Butte. The 0-1's a pop up to shallow right. Now everybody was playing deep. Here comes Gorno racing in, still coming, and he makes a tremendous catch. A basket catch at the end, going down to his knees and his elbows on a tremendously long run. We mentioned their outfielders back in the no doubles defense. And that ball almost dropped in front of him on a shallow fly to right, but he made a brilliant catch, and there's 2 down. And Kinsler, the last hope. A home run would tie it, and Ian, while he was slumping heading into last night's game when he had 3 hits, including a homer, has been reliable for the home run lately. He has 8 on the year. Peralta delivers. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Looked like a slider. Kinsler has walked in the game and struck out twice. Hitting at a .232 clip on the year with a lot of power. 8 homers, 28 runs batted in. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and miss, strike 2. Potts drove in a run in the first with a 2-out infield hit. Conti drove in a run in the 6th. RedHawks at one time led it 1-0. They fell behind 3-1. It's now 3-2 Salt Lake in the 9th. Peralta's last outing, came on Tuesday in the second game of a doubleheader against Iowa. He is not allowed to run in his previous 4 appearances. Here's a pop-up first base side and foul. The catcher Mathis under it ends the game. Series even at 1 game apiece. The RedHawks go out in order in the ninth. Final 3-2 Stingers. Back with a post game after this on Super Talk 930 WKY. Jim Byers back live for the postgame show. Excuse me. A little frog in the throat there. Here at SBC Bricktown Ballpark. 3-2 the final tonight. Salt Lake wins it. They even the series at 1 game apiece. They stop a 3-game losing streak and a 6-game road losing streak. The RedHawks dip back to the 500 mark at 21-21 on the year. For the Stingers, 3 runs on just 6 hits, but they also drew 5 walks. They did not commit an error. 8 men left. For the RedHawks, 2 runs on 8 hits, no errors, and 6 men left. Clayton Andrews, the winning pitcher, he's won 2 straight starts now. He allowed 2 runs on 6 hits in 6 innings, and he's 2-0 on the season. Save number 7 on the year for Joel Peralta. The loss to the starter, John Hudgens, who pitched pretty well, allowed a 3-run 5th. Salt Lake only scoring in 1 inning tonight, and that was enough to stand up. Hudgens drops to 1-2 on the year. As the RedHawks' potent offense, the best in the league, only produced a single run in the first and a Jason Conti solo homer in the 6th. And the RedHawks fall to 21-21 on the year. The Stingers improved to 22-17. It took 2 hours, 29 minutes to play it in front of 7,853. Tomorrow, lefties to pitch for their respective teams. Matt Riley for Oklahoma in his 2nd Oklahoma start. And former RedHawk Corey Lee, who has the 9th best ERA in the league coming into today. 2-1 with a 2.80 ERA to pitch for Salt Lake. Pre-game show at 6:45 Central. First pitch at 7:05 here on SportsJuice.com and WKY. 3-2 the final. The Stingers win it. The RedHawks drop to 3-8 in games decided by 1 run this year. We'll take a look at other scores from around baseball after this on Super Talk 930 WKY. Good. Good display tonight. Salt Lake squeaks out a 3-2 win in this ball game tonight. Taking a look at other scores from around the PCL. Final score in New Orleans, Colorado Springs beats the Zephyrs 5-1. It was Fresno in Iowa beating the I-Cubs by a final of 8-5, evening that series at 1 apiece. Sacramento and Omaha have gone into the 10th inning tied at 3. Tacoma leads Nashville 2-1 in the 5th. Tucson ahead of Round Rock 6-3 in the 7th inning. Albuquerque at Las Vegas, the Isotopes with a 4-1 lead in the 4th inning. And Portland leads Memphis by a score of 4-0. That game in the 6th at PGE Park in Portland. In the big leagues, one National League game, the rest interleague. Former Sooner Mark Redmond with the pitching victory. He's now 3-3 as Pittsburgh beat Colorado by a final of 9-4. White Sox beat the Cubs in the first Battle of Chicago. The final in that one was 5-1 White Sox. Elsewhere around the interleague play, St. Louis beat the Kansas City Royals behind Mark Mulder, who improves to 6-1 on the year. 7-6 the final. Young Zach Greinke takes the loss to fall to 0-5 for the Royals. Minnesota fairly big over Milwaukee by a final of 7-1. They out-hit the Brewers 16-5. Texas beats Houston. Kenny Rogers improves to 5-2 on the year. Lance Nix hit his second home run of the year. 7-3, the Rangers win. Philadelphia beats Baltimore by a final of 9-3. It was Florida slipping by Tampa Bay 7-6. Cincinnati and Cleveland in a game kind of like this one, low scoring, low hit total. Cincinnati wins 2-1. Yankees beat the Mets by a 5-2 final. Kevin Brown improves to 3-4 on the year. Toronto beats Washington 6-1. It was Arizona over Detroit 6-2 at Comerica Park. Boston got home runs from Jason Varitek and Bill Miller. I think they were back-to-back. And they hand Tim Hudson and the Braves a loss. 4-3 Boston wins in that series opener. Games in progress. The Angels lead the Dodgers 4-0 at Dodger Stadium in the 3rd inning. San Francisco leading Oakland 3-2 in the 5th at SBC Park. The Padres leading Seattle 3-0 in the 6th. Right here it was 3-2 Salt Lake. Back to wrap it up after this on Super Talk 930 WKY.
Point. Andrews delivers. There's a bouncer towards short. Backing up on it is Sorensen. He throws from the outfield grass, not in time, and a run to the air, and there's a well-hit ball to right. Deep. At this point.
The RedHawks out-hit the Stingers tonight, 8-6, a relatively low hit output for both teams, who have two of the better offenses in the league. The RedHawks, the highest scoring team in the league. But they only muster 2 runs, and Salt Lake wins Game 2 of the series 3-2. 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors, and 6 men left for the Stingers. 2 runs, 8 hits, no errors, and 6 men left for the RedHawks. Clayton Andrews, the winner. He's now 2-0, save number 7 of the year for Joel Peralta, who had a good time of it, a 1-2-3 ninth. And John Hudgens pitched well in defeat to fall to 1-2 on the year. The RedHawks didn't score for Hudgens. And in 4 of Hudgens' 6 starts now, the RedHawks have not produced many runs while he's been in the game, and that was the case tonight, although Esteban Herman extended his hitting streak to 8 games with a leadoff single in the first. Stole second, went to third on a wild pitch, and with 2 outs was still there when Jason Botts opened the scoring.
Andrews delivers. There's a bouncer towards short. Backing up on it is Sorensen. He throws from the outfield grass, not in time, and a run scored.
And the RedHawks took a 1-0 lead. For Botts, it was his 27th run batted in on the year. There would be no scoring in the game until Hudgens allowed a leadoff homer to the center field hitter's eye in the 5th inning by Jeff Mathis, the Salt Lake catcher's 6th home run of the year, and that tied it at 1. The next hitter, Luke Allen, ripped the base hit up the middle. Nick Gorno drew a walk, and Adam Pavkovich sacrificed bunted them to second and third. Hudgens struck out Matranga to create 2 outs in the inning, but he walked Prieto, falling behind him 3-0, and then the 4th one was intentionally wide. That loaded him, and Zach Sorensen drove in his 2nd and 3rd runs of the year with a base hit up the middle, scoring 2 runs. He was thrown out at second on the back end of the play, trying to move to second on the throw, but the damage was done, and it was 3-1 in favor of Salt Lake. Clayton Andrews pitched well. He dodged some trouble early, but after retiring the side in order in the bottom of the 5th, faced Jason Conti with a 3-1 lead to lead off the bottom of the 6th inning.
Ball to right. Deep. Gorno at the track. Near the wall. It's gone. A leadoff homer by Conti into the right field bullpen, and it's 3-2 Salt Lake.
Conti takes the RedHawks lead with 10 home runs and 29 runs batted in. It was 3-2 in favor of the Stingers, and that's where the game would end. Michael Tejera, in his first appearance in 2 weeks, pitched well, getting out of a mini jam in the 7th. Vladimir Nunez pitched well when he came on for the 9th, but a good pitching effort wasted as Clayton Andrews, Mike Miley, who pitched very well in 3 innings in his first RedHawk start, to go against former RedHawk Corey Lee, a one-time pitcher of the year in the Rangers organization. Lee, who didn't pitch at all in 03 after blowing out his elbow, pitched to Double-A last year, and he is having a good year this season, 2-1 with a 2.80 ERA. Preferred Hospice giveaway night tomorrow. A baseball giveaway will be among the first 2,500 paid fans for that. First pitch at 7:05, and then the series will wrap up with a 2:05 game on Sunday, the final afternoon game of the year here at SBC Bricktown Ballpark before Colorado Springs comes in for a pair of games on Monday and Tuesday at 7:05. That'll do it for tonight. Salt Lake wins by a final of 3-2 to even this series at 1 game apiece. For our in-studio producer, Josh Butler, I'm Jim Byers. Thanks a lot for listening throughout the course of the evening. One update from Tucson before we let you go as the RedHawks 2 back of Round Rock as play began today, and Round Rock in the 8th inning trailing the Tucson Sidewinders 6-4. That'll do it from here at the Brick tonight. 3-2 Salt Lake wins it until we talk to you tomorrow evening. Have a safe weekend, and so long, everybody.